I would suspect that if you're going to run around acting like you're self-righteous in whatever cause you're trying to affect or trying to push or do or whatever, that you would actually be doing your due diligence, or that you would actually like covers multiple things and not just the same thing over and over and over again without ever actually adding anything more to it because there's nothing more to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's it's like you call yourself a reporter, and a reporter in a very specific category, and
Right.
then when you write articles, we'll talk about that when we start. But like, yeah, it's like, should we take you seriously? I don't think so.
I just don't like taking people who have like this self-righteous attitude about anything very seriously because it's like
Oh yeah,
it kind of comes off as a red flag to me in general.
yeah,
Like who do you
yeah.
think you are? You're a person like everybody else.
It feels like they're compensating, trying to compensate for something.
Well, you're a person just as much as the worst criminal you can think of is a person. So, I don't know, that's
Yeah.
my attitude about it. How's your weekend going? You got plans?
Not really. Today's Sunday, so most
Oh
probably
yeah, it's
prepping for
Sunday for
tomorrow.
you. Saturday for
Yeah,
me. Oh man. Oh man.
yeah, but
But
um, the year is coming to an end.
Hello.
welcome back to Dumb Fekk Friday. Woo! Yay! Dumb Fekk Friday. Woo! Yay! Dumb Fekk Friday.
It's going to be fun.
Hmm. Oh, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Dumb Fact Friday, but it's on Saturday because we covered volcanoes yesterday, and that was hella hot and fun and spicy.
Ooh, yes. Pele was dancing and singing and proving everyone wrong.
Yeah, so was Landon.
It was
But
wonderful watching Landon like cover that segment yesterday. It was a delight watching him.
he was wonderful. He was absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. He was a joy to have, as always. But I don't know, for whatever reason, especially yesterday. I don't know if he was just in a really good mood, but it was great. He was on
It-
fire.
yes, literally.
I'm starting
About
to think that he's like some kind of priest of Pele or a cleric or something, and Pele's granting him power. So when Pele's in a spicy good mood, so is Landon.
I am not going to be surprised if that's the thing. Yeah, it was awesome watching him. And my camera is up as usual. I am never in the center of it, you know.
Nah.
Nah, 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 never, never. Fuck my life.
You want me to help? Do you need my magical producer powers?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Why don't you tell
I'm just like,
the good people out there? Just say hi to everybody while I fix this for you.
hi everyone. We back again. Just when we think everything's simmering down like Pele, everything goes live once again, and we get garbage like the articles we are going to cover today.
Yeah, this is gonna be I'm already dreading this, and I promised myself I wasn't gonna be drinking until Wednesday with Dapper and Landon for our aliens stream. But no, but I'm doing my best, but I don't think this is gonna go very well.
Oh god, you have, yeah, your calendar
Yeah.
around the Christmas and New Year is full, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
You busy.
I'm already scheduling for the new year.
Oh
I've
wow,
got a couple
that's
things
good.
already set up for January, so we'll see. I have some plans. I'm going to talk about more about like what the plans are in the future on Tuesday. And that's also going to be a little bit more of a Q&A time as well. So if people do have questions of what we're covering, where we're going, what I'm kind of looking at doing and stuff, come on Tuesday and we'll have a bit more of a more elaborate chat. But let's get what we're talking about here. So I came across a tweet
Let's go.
because it always starts with a tweet that
Always.
Kat Tenbarge, the lovely lady that she is, wrote an article.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. What's
Imagine
new?
a journalist
Yeah.
writing an article, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
this wasn't, now to be clear, this is on NBC News. This is not she's written a blog. This is not she's got her own influencer, whatever the hell. This is on NBC News. If she was an influencer, I think I would personally be giving her a lot more leeway. Do you know what I mean? I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever. She's just putting her dumb opinion out there, and who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's wrong, but you're not coming across as a journalist for NBC News.
Yeah, so people should, like, maybe, like, if you're an influencer and type stuff, people can, like, ignore you, dismiss you, and go, like, okay, whatever.
Mm. You mean that
And also,
professionals should be held to a standard?
exactly, like, if you're an influencer, you're not expected to back your shit up. Most of the times, like, you can express an opinion without even justifying it. Sometimes you don't have to. But when you're a journalist, there are certain standards, ethical standards, that you're supposed to follow. And the basic expectation is, when you call yourself a journalist, that you back your shit up. So
Yeah.
we shall see today. So do we want to introduce, like, what the article is about briefly, and then go for it? Or
yeah, I mean, this title is giving me problems. I'm not gonna lie. He was canceled during the hashtag #MeToo movement. Now he's using YouTube to attack celebrity accusers. And so I immediately have problems with the word canceled, because if he was canceled, you wouldn't be writing an article about him.
yeah, and he wouldn't be, if he was canceled, how come he's still here? That's the question. Right? Sorry. Yeah, right. If he was canceled, it's the headline is used to, number one, exploit the hashtag #MeToo.
Mm-hmm.
The hashtag #MeToo.
Mm-hmm.
And alludes to something like he was maybe convicted of something, like Harvey Weinstein or something like that, because that's where that, or Bill Cosby, like that, because that's where that hashtag came from.
Right.
It's
That's where it took off, at least.
Yeah, it's starting with a bias, let's just say.
I can tell Manya just
really
woken up. Her brain's still starting. Creak, 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 creak.
Crank, 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 crank. So yeah, it comes across as like it's pure bias. You can see that from the start, and I really hope she's put a disclaimer, because these two, like, what the person this article is about, they both have a history. So
yeah, we'll be able to get into that a little bit more. But basically, Kat and Andy Sigorn have a history of not liking each other very much. Andy covers Amber Heard from the negative side. Kat covers Amber Heard from the pro side. She, from my understanding, she was reporting on it before even watching the trial.
Oh yeah, she claimed that. I think so. Someone pointed out that she admitted that she never watched the trial, and I'm like, so what are you reporting about? And
yeah,
and I think so. This is an attempt to overcompensate for that.
Now she calls herself what is she, like, what does she do? I know that you had looked up earlier yesterday, I think, like, who she is and what she actually does. And I'll, in the meantime, pull up her Twitter so we can take a quick look to see who we're talking about here. So, hey, she blocked me!
Hey! Welcome, everybody.
I was not blocked yesterday, and then I guess she saw that I was going to talk about the hit piece she wrote, and didn't like that.
Did you tag her? Is that why?
I think I retweeted something she said. And was like, no, okay. No, bro.
Let me give you the screenshot of a profile. Like, you can get access to that without logging in. So here you go.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had pulled up, like, her history, right?
Yeah, I went around and tried and find out, like, what she did and did not do, and I found a Business Insider article about her, if I'm not wrong. Let me just bring it up, because it was hilarious. I think I forwarded it to you, right? Let me just see if I can bring it up. Here we go. Or maybe not. I'll find it.
Yeah, I didn't see the Business Insider article.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll find out. Kat Tenbarge, Business Insider. It kind of So you kind of think like when you see like businessinsider.com, you think maybe it's a significant piece of article about Kat Tenbarge, but it's only like 100 words in totality, and she
100 words. Wow.
she has a Bachelor of Science in Journalism and Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies from Ohio University Honors Tutorial College. Those are two good degrees, I should say, journalism and environmental studies. And my expectation from her is now even higher. And the standard of articles she delivers, my expectations are higher now. But in that article, she mentions the expertise as YouTube creators, especially beauty influencers and online exploitation, social media trends and culture, and social media content moderation, and LGBTQ issues.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in, if I'm not wrong, this article was in 2018. That's where it was. Oh, sorry, no, it was in 2018 when it came out, when she was working. I think so.
So Business Insiders did an article about her while she worked for Business Insiders.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
She says that she's a recognized 2018 White House Correspondents Association scholar. I don't know what that is, but her work has previously appeared in Teen Vogue, The Washington Post, Inverse, The Columbus Dispatch, and more. So that's interesting. But her popular articles that are linked are as follows.
Because I was going to say, are any of those other things linked? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Did she ghostwrite this?
Her Instagram is linked. Her Instagram is linked. Not like it's given the ad for the Instagram in there. And there's an email for her too for Business Insider, but I guess it won't work now because
the screenshot you took says followed by Christopher Boozy at the bottom.
What? Of course she cannot block him. They have to go back and forth with each other for the drama.
No, Christopher Boozy. Christopher Boozy's the one that did the fake bot shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he follows her. Okay, I thought they followed each other. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, she might follow him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. But it's like what has been highlighted in that profile that's interesting.
Yeah.
So some of her popular articles are: a woman featured on YouTube star David Dobrik's channel says she was awed by a Vlog Squad member in 2018, the night they filmed a video about group sex. So that's low-hanging fruit, according to me.
I mean, it's David Dobrik. What, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has mentioned that and addressed that, if I'm not wrong.
It's been talked about a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one is Jeffree Star accusers say the makeup mogul has a history of sexual assault, physical violence, and hush money offers. Again, low-hanging fruit. It's kind of a popular opinion from people that Jeffree Star has a shady background. So, MySpace famous musician Davey Vanity.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's all like social media influencers. But how she ended up at MSNBC as what does she claim to be? A tech and culture reporter, which is good. It's good if you are evolving and you're learning. But so far, from her Twitter timeline, I have not seen anything of significant where I could say that she specializes in tech and culture. Except that all we have seen is from her is Amber Heard.
Well, I mean, wasn't there an article that she covered Belle?
Belle Delphine. Oh, yes. Yeah. Hold on. Let me bring it up. Belle Delphine is a next generation porn star trolling followers for clicks and controversy. Like, this was one of her articles. Famous articles. Popular articles.
What was the troll? Was the troll the bathwater? Because it's not a full troll if she actually did it, and she did. So, like,
she made money off it.
I was kidding, but then it was successful and was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah. Um. So I don't know like if it's an interview or what, or it's an article, but yeah. I'm like, why are you going after women like that?
So,
And
well,
independent women, you know.
I mean, if you're going to like promote yourself and show yourself as like an advocate and a feminist and yada yada yada, like we
Exactly. Yeah.
see this kind of group of people, because I like you've got Dr. Charlotte, you've got Michelle Dauber, and you've got
Dauber.
Kat are probably the three biggest names that at least I see around that are basically just circle jerking each other into like, oh,
A
Amber
lot.
Heard, you're so special. Oh, Amber Heard, yes. So, like, the, but they also all retweet each other and all like signal boost each other up, right?
A
And you
lot.
know, there's something to be said about, you know, a rising tide raises all ships, but like it's the self-righteous like, oh, we're on a crusade that's like I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of.
But we are not gonna do the work for it.
Right. So let's see a little bit what this article says. Now, her and Andy have like a little bit of a history. Like they don't like each
Yeah.
other. And I mean reasonably so. They both seem to be people are allowed to not like each other. Yeah, that's totally fine. But
Yeah.
so it's a pushback against the hashtag #MeToo movement, and the shifting economics on YouTube have elevated Andy Singorn and other online creators to new heights. So surely this is indicating to me that we're going to be going into whatever happened in Me Too, right?
Mm.
Who he's attacked on YouTube, right? What celebrities he's like attacked or gone after, right?
Yeah.
And what the effect of the YouTube algorithm is that's causing this kind of undue influence, right? That's
Yes.
what I'm getting from
Yes.
this article, and the fact that we know that she's a tech and
Culture
reporter.
reporter.
All right, so chat. 1 in the chat if you think we're going to see any of those things in this article. 2 in the chat if you think we're not going to see any of those things in this article.
And
right?
yeah,
You let me know.
hopefully, where she says like pushback against the Me Too movement, I'm sure she will give us examples of where Me Too got a pushback. Yeah, so yeah, 1 in the chat if you think we will get everything there linked, reference, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and 2 if it's like it's just going to be.
Hey, I mean, it might be something valuable. It's just not gonna be what's in the headline. All right.
Yeah.
I just thought I want to give like a matter of seconds just for chat to catch up, so they have an opportunity.
Yep. Mr. Serious on my phone.
This is a picture. She used a picture of him from 2016.
Oh wow. Ooh.
And if I remember correctly, it also has this picture as the headline. So, like, why are you using Johnny
Depp and Amber Heard when you're talking about Me Too movement and like
and this guy's accusations or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. And also like hashtagging the Me Too in your article title. Interesting.
So Singer used to work for Screen Junkies, right? And that was his big thing that he was part of.
Yeah.
And so this is from December 9th. So this is just from the other day.
Yeah.
For Andy, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial was a gold mine.
Let's start. I thought this was about the Me Too. Is she talking about the economic shift?
I think she's the economics on YouTube, right? So I mean, okay, maybe let's see.
Okay, fair.
Not how I would start this article.
Exactly, yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Starting in April and spanning just a few months, Singorn, 43, more than double his followers on his YouTube channel, which she didn't name or link. That's bizarre.
Or maybe show us some sort of stats. Do you have any stats to prove that?
Well, you would have to have a before and after of.
You can show it on Social Blade.
Yeah, Social Blade would be the best option, and even that would be.
It can give you a screenshot. Yeah, but it can give you an idea of how the growth has been. You know. Yeah. But yeah, if you're going to say something as a fact, you need to back it up. So.
Where he comments on news and pop culture. He has made more than 300 videos about the trial and its participants, bringing in millions of views and thousands of dollars in contributions from fans. Do you think he's done 300 videos? He might have.
It's possible because the trial went for 6 weeks, right? So every day if they did 1 or 2 videos.
So it's like 8 hours. Okay, so 8 hours over 6 weeks. If you were to divide that up into videos that were only 2 hours long.
Hold on, let me just go for it. 8 hours every day, right? 6 into
Daily Show, Amber Heard. Celebrity News has 125 videos in it.
So, you said 8 hours, right? Equal to, and what did you say? Divided by
Justice
2-hour segments?
Yeah, if you were divided into 2-hour segments, let's say.
That would say 1,180.
Yeah, so this only the Justice for Johnny Depp playlist only has 187 in it.
Yeah. So
basically I think what we're getting at is 300 probably is not that impressive of a number.
Yeah, and it's probably not that number either, by the looks of it. She's exaggerating the number.
Well, even if it's accurate and she's gone through his entire library and counted every single one of them, is 300 a reasonable number? Yeah, is a justified number in what happened with the Amber Heard case and how much there is to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's again assuming those videos are 2 hours long, because you could take like one chunk, you could take like you could segment it out into
half an hour, 15 minutes, and I think so that's what Popcorn Planet have done. They do these short segments, and then they go for the longer ones after the day trial would end. So but it's like for some reason these guys have a problem with the coverage, like how many videos people have made about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, when they're also part of that,
ecosystem,
atmosphere. Yeah,
they
have done the same. Their channels have done the same. They have not like covered it from like scene to scene from the courtroom, but they have covered it.
Well, there's a question mark about like what is considered. You're setting a standard, right? Kat in this article is setting the standard that 300 is too many, right? Or is an absurdly high number. So what would be a reasonable number to cover this case in? And that's assuming you're not covering it live, because if you're backlogging it and you're like picking out key points and then like kind of making it into one, realistically, if you really wanted to, you could make a mega upload that is the entire trial over 6 weeks in one video if you had enough processing power to do it, and upload that to YouTube and have one like 3-day long video.
Yeah, it's possible.
You could have Twitch streamed it the whole time and just watched it every day, and so I think saying 300 videos is kind of a misnomer, because they could be 5-minute videos, they could be 2-hour videos.
Okay, YouTube limits to 12 hours. Okay, so maximum you can.
No, they don't. They do not limit to 12 hours.
I think so. Live streams are 12 hours. They automatically, not the videos, if I'm not wrong.
Well, I don't even know about that unless they've changed that recently, because I did a 15-hour stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were able to do that. Oh, okay, cool. So so it's like her title talks about backlash, that someone was canceled around metoo, and she wants to talk about how some YouTubers have
well, I think she's implying that 300 videos is attacking. She's taking that number and implying that number means it has to be an attack, not actually looking at the content.
Yeah, it's not it has to be negative. It has to be it should be dismissed in some way. And like for some reason having a YouTube channel with 300 videos on a topic is somehow immoral or unethical.
Or the fact that he made money off of it is wrong. So he made thousands of dollars.
We'll address that.
Yeah,
we'll address that point also. She she cuts out a lot of points and context in this article, which comes across as so disingenuous and dishonest to me, and yeah, it's
Spoilers.
disappointing. Yeah,
Bringing in millions of views
we'll
and
cover that.
thousands of dollars in contribution from fans. It's a particularly impressive run considering that not long ago the YouTube-focused company Singorn founded, Screen Junkies, said it had fired him, citing a variety of sexual misconduct allegations. Singorn has denied the allegations.
So there were again accusations, no charges.
Mm-hmm.
But here's another someone who lost their job due to accusations.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Johnny Depp, and I can kind of understand why he covered the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial then, because maybe he sees
Personal.
himself in Johnny Depp. Yeah, it's a personal connection there.
Mhm.
The thing is that should we talk about like what she's like cutting out in when she makes these statements, or should we address it in the last? What do you think?
I think we should wait until we get down here because
Okay.
she
Yeah.
goes into it a little bit more. But before
Okay.
that, I just want to touch out that saying that it's a particularly impressive run considering that not long ago YouTube focused company founded Screen Junkies and blah, blah, blah. A particularly impressive run kind of confuses me
Or firing him.
because she said he was canceled.
Yeah.
It's a particularly impressive run considering he was canceled. He wasn't canceled. He was allegedly
He was
fired.
fired. That is not necessarily fire. If you get fired, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're canceled.
It also
Cancelled
doesn't
is
inherently mean you're guilty either.
exactly neither guilty nor canceled, because I think so. Being canceled is that you cannot work in that same industry anymore. That's what it is about. That you cannot work in that industry anymore, or no one will hire you. You're not hireable, like Amber Heard. She got canceled hard. So, and Johnny Depp got canceled when Amber Heard made the allegations against him when she wrote her article. So that's cancel. So this is like so confusing. I think so. She doesn't know what cancel means. This is someone who's a tech and culture reporter. Kat, I'm so disappointed, man. And you have a degree in journalism. Fuck.
I also still hate that this sentence and paragraph is one line and starts with the word but.
Oh my fucking lord.
I have my pet peeves, okay? I'm allowed. They're relative.
Yeah, it's okay.
They're harmless.
She's a journalist. She's a journalist. We can. Her writings are subject to criticism, anyways.
Period. But.
But, yeah. It's
the
his reputation hit also.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hit also set the stage for his comeback. Okay.
So okay, that there's some implications in there, but I don't want to go into it right now.
Yeah.
Singorn has capitalized on the allegations against him, emerging as one of many popular creators on YouTube making news-focused content filtered through a culture war lens. I think she's framing him like I would frame the quartering.
Yeah.
Now you watch more of his content than I do. I've seen a little bit of it. But from my understanding, he doesn't irk me immediately the way the quartering does. Like the quartering get like he hits a nerve on me, man. I don't know.
It's like your the hair at the back of your head stand up when you're listening to quartering. Yeah, it's that. It's like nails on chalkboard. That's what quartering is. But this guy, he's not that bad. I personally also think he streams too much, but that's his job, I guess. So that's what he does. My streaming is not my full time, like my main source of income, so I don't do that.
Different types of things work better for different types of channels. Like if I stream too much on this channel, because of like how complicated some of the topics are, people can't keep up with like just the amount that's getting thrown at them.
Yeah.
But when you're keeping things like when you can separate them out better in different ways, it works better in some ways than others. But
I think so. YouTubers have to start thinking about tiring their audiences out with too much content.
Burnout, yeah.
Your audience you deserve a break. Your audience also deserves a break, and
does
they
he come
have lives.
But does he come off as like the quartering
He's not
does?
arrogant. I don't think so. No, not to me. He doesn't come across as neither arrogant nor ignorant, if I'm not wrong. And looking at that line, Signor has capitalized on the allegations against him. Sounds like some that
How?
he's not. Yeah, like one how, but also sounds like that he's not afraid to address what he has been accused of.
Sure.
You gotta
Yeah.
give him credit for that, then, right? Is she giving him credit for that, or is she implying that people shouldn't do that, like shouldn't capitalize or address the allegations that have been, delve on them? I don't know. It's
It has become a lucrative endeavor thanks to a shift in how creators make money on YouTube, where donations now flow from an audience skeptical of the Me Too movement.
how does she know that? How
Well,
does she
I'd be
know?
curious, like based on what, and maybe she's gonna
Yeah,
explain that because it's not like monetization still exists. There's
yeah,
stickers, and like YouTube has recently in the past like year or two added more like different ways. Like so there's still super chats, there's still monetization as it was, but now there's like super thanks on that you can put onto videos
memberships.
that don't have to be live. Memberships got added. They've added like the little stickers. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah,
and there's like if I remember correctly, if you're large enough, you get something that's like a shop shelf that you can put onto your channel as well
yeah,
for merchandise and
yeah,
stuff. So there's like a
yeah,
lot of different ways. And I don't
yeah,
understand what the problem would be about being skeptical of the Me Too movement given what we've seen from people that are publishing for NBC News.
yeah. So here she's saying that where the donations now flow from an audience skeptical of the Me Too movement. One, I would like to know how she came to that conclusion that Andy Signor's audience is skeptical of the Me Too movement. Andy Signor himself can be skeptical, but I don't. And
You're talking about the
she's for
audience
some.
specifically.
Yeah, and
Mm.
she's trying to imply somewhat that being skeptical of a movement is somehow bad, unethical, or immoral. Like she's implying in that way, like or she's implying that being skeptical about a movement like Me Too is lucrative now, so therefore bad and immoral. That's what she's implying, and or that if you are making money off by being skeptical of the Me Too movement, it's bad or immoral. So I really hope she can back it up and demonstrate it how.
Singer's new channel, Popcorn Planet, now has more than 675,000 subscribers. Okay. Who watch his videos and live streams about daily news and pop culture justice. Singer covers.
What?
Is she quoting him or who is she quoting here?
Yeah, like is it on his? Hold on, let me see his about page. Hold on, what does
Yeah,
his
that's what I
about
was
page
about to
say?
go look at.
Yeah.
Does he say that? Because I want to know where this quote is coming from.
Uh,
Shut up. That's him meeting Johnny
he
Depp. He got
says,
to go meet Johnny Depp.
eh, he says pop culture controversies, not pop culture. What is she saying? Justice shit.
Pop culture justice,
Yeah, no, he says pop culture controversies. So
daily
she's
news,
quoting him, but
entertainment.
she's quoting him wrong.
Uh,
Who is she quoting here? I don't get it. Like,
He also
cat.
doesn't. Andy also doesn't shy away from the old stuff he used to work on either, because that's still listed here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta give him credit. He's not
He's a
afraid to talk about.
Florida man.
Ah, Florida man. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah. So yeah. Is she
I don't know who she's
okay?
quoting here.
Cat. 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 Did you not do your homework again?
Um,
Again. What? What? Just. She's quoting. I don't know. Is she quoting him? Someone else? A news source? Where's that news source article? If she is, what the fuck, cat?
yeah,
Why?
I just don't know why this is in quotes. Like
Mm.
maybe he made a joke about that it's justice or something. I don't know. I'm a reader coming in and seeing this for the first
You
time,
know.
so
You know what a good article does? If they quote someone, even if it's a YouTube video, they provide the link to the YouTube video where someone has said something like that.
I mean, she might be being sarcastic, but it's just
Yeah,
not clear from the way this is written to me, at least.
yeah,
Singer covers what he characterizes as the injustice of the hashtag MeToo movement and the criticisms he and other men who have been accused of various forms of sexual misconduct has faced in the past 5 years. That's fair.
Okay. That's very fair.
Yep.
It's like again, she's trying to imply being skeptical about and having criticism about a movement, that works towards providing justice, for a certain class of people or certain gender of people, is bad or
You're talking
shouldn't
about
happen.
you're talking about the entire framing, right?
Yeah, it's like the whole article kind of to me sounds like that, and I'm just disappointed
Mm.
because so far she hasn't explained like how he got the backlash from the Me Too movement. That's what her first phrase
Oh,
was
how
from
she
an
was
article.
canceled? Yeah, how he was
Yeah, how he
canceled.
was canceled. It's just
Okay,
talking. So it looks like she went the other way around for some reason. She's talking about his YouTube economics
he's
for some
talking.
reason first.
She's going backwards. Yeah, she's starting at the top
Yeah,
and then working back. She's starting from like
yeah.
April and saying, "Hey, look at how successful this guy is. This is what he does." And then let's talk. And I mean, I can understand like people
See
who
the
don't
connection, the
know.
flow.
Yeah, it's a little
You can
bit
see the flow,
it,
but it's
but
like,
it's losing the pop that you would get from that kind of a title.
yeah.
Do you know what I
Uh,
mean? So like realistically, there's a lot of additional information about Andy and his numbers here that I are relevant in some ways, but they're not relevant yet. So like the narrative isn't like the flow of the article is kind of odd to me because like if I were writing this article, the way I would write it as a non-professional, the way as an unregulated non-professional, the way I would write this would be
shade.
Annie Singorn and others um, blow up on YouTube over Amber Heard trial. And then you would say
Yeah,
Annie Singorn, creator of whatever,
Screen junkies,
yeah,
yada
Screen
yada yada.
Junkies, yada yada yada. Created a YouTube channel, a tertiary YouTube channel, or his current YouTube channel, Popcorn Planet, has blown
Hmm.
up over the past yada 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 time for yada yada yada
Yeah,
numbers, to and focuses on this thing. Then say,
yeah,
but is that good?
yeah.
Is this okay? And then you get into talking about that this is where he came from and here's the bias that he has towards this kind of thing, and then you can actually analyze what it is that he's saying, what it is that he does, right?
yeah, yeah. Because yeah, you're right. But so
It's
far,
hard to do that when you have an agenda.
yes, and okay, and number one, I have not seen any disclaimer at the top
No, there's
about
no.
her and Andy having a past. There should be a disclaimer. Kat, where are your journalistic ethics?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, if there's a conflict of
You,
interest in your article.
conflict of interest, you have a history with this person, you have had a back and forth, this person has criticized your work, you have criticized their work, it has happened in the past. You should acknowledge that in this article, because if she had, then I would have taken this article seriously. So far I don't see a disclaimer here, and so it kind of looks like it's a hit piece to me. That's what it
It's
looks like.
it's absolutely hit piece. It's a shift that other creators have made as well, capitalizing on the broader pushback against social justice movements. Some of Singorn's newer content takes aim at the people he said contributed to the allegations against him and their aftermath. That's the wrong
Where,
there.
oh god, no, that's fine. There, it's a property belonging there. He said contributed allegations against him. Contributed people. He's talking about people. People's
So
aftermath? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure this is actually just the wrong there.
No.
I'm
And it should be, and it's aftermath. That's what it should be.
right. That like
Not,
this is
yeah.
not,
No,
or it
Cat,
should be
who proofread,
THERE.
yeah, yeah, not this one though. You're right. You're right.
Singorn
Chesh is
has
always right.
also no. Singorn has also don't put that on me. Singorn has also cultivated a fan base that includes people who identify as survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. who don't believe Heard's allegations against him. What do you mean who identify as?
Are you denying someone what they have gone through? Or is it something like
Is she
it's not
skeptical about whether or not they actually are? Because that might be a reasonable piece of skepticism. But you'd have to go
is
through each and every person. So to say that about an entire fan base is a bit out of line.
it's like when someone says they identify as a male or female, right? It's something inherent to them. Like this comes across like who identify as survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. Is she saying that they claim they are survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence and we don't know how to like
It's really,
validate that?
yeah, no, it's really poorly worded because she means that self-identify as in they've identified themselves. Like I'm identifying like if I were to say, hey, I've been through this, da 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 da, I've identified myself that this is where I'm coming from, right? This is my history, so
Yeah.
this is the angle that I'm coming from. Or she's saying like they identify themselves as that, but
Yeah. It's yeah. It's comes
just
across
poorly
as
worded.
like
It's just poorly. It's
poorly
unclear.
worded. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unclear. Kat, did you
uh,
proofread this?
you have to be really charitable. Like I'm finding myself having to go out of my way to be charitable when reading this
Yeah.
article, and because of vague, non-specific language or language that is intentionally not specific, which is not
Yeah.
good in journalism. It either means something is fishy or it means the person's bad at what they're trying to
Yeah.
convey.
Yeah, in journalism, if you're saying something and if you're saying something, you need to back it up with facts. You must have your references in the article. Yeah, like just because you're a tech and culture journalist doesn't mean that you don't have to back your shit up. You have to.
Smitty
Absolutely have to.
Smitty makes a good point as well, saying perhaps to highlight that they don't identify as victims. But that's not what this article is about. So that's like, I mean, you make a good point, but like the same problem, right?
Yeah. Has cultivated a fan base that includes people and who don't believe Heard's allegation against them. Some of them have donated to Signor, noting their histories of having been abused in the comments.
Sure.
Examples?
I mean, I'm willing to take that at face value. I'm willing to
Yeah,
take it at
okay.
face value that there are victims out there that don't believe Amber Heard support Johnny Depp and watch his channel. Like that, this seems like asinine to
Again,
me.
yeah, some of them have donated to Signor, noting their histories of having been abused in comments. Are you telling me that for some reason these people, like what she's trying to insinuate here? That's the thing, right? How it's worded. She's trying to insinuate in some way that people who identify as survivors of, she's trying to put it across like as if he's taking advantage of adults.
Well, we'll see, because that's not there yet.
Not yet.
Right now, it's the way I would describe this so far is that it's painting a picture of who Andy is and what his channel is about in a negative light without making any accusations yet. The
So
closest thing we got to an
there's a
accusation is he capitalized on it. And like that that hasn't been explained yet, so
but yeah, it's not a balanced introduction to his
but
yeah, let's just say to his whole career, if I might say. Oh my fucking lord. Okay.
But
why
Singer's
is
recent
the but?
success why but Singer's recent success has been difficult for some of the people who worked with him at Screen Junkies or who have appeared on YouTube with him and see him as profiting off his own alleged misbehavior. There's where it starts getting to the problems. Quote,
Yeah.
he makes money off victims and says he is one, said Ray, who has appeared in live streams on YouTube with Singorn and who asked that her last name be withheld to protect her privacy. People blindly believe him, end quote. All right, so now we have an accusation.
Yeah. Why? So, Signor's recent success has been difficult for some people who have worked with him. as they see him profiting off his own alleged misbehavior. Number one, it number
Well,
one,
let's see what Kat says, because this is right now just a
alleged
right.
alleged misbehavior. That's what my thing is. She's
Yeah.
using the terminology there, alleged, but
Yeah.
then she's implying somehow it's negative.
Well, we've got a quote from one of his alleged people who worked with him. There isn't really a reference here about. Well, let's see. On November 13th, Ray hosted a live stream on her channel that included a new accusation that Singhorn sent an unsolicited nude video of himself masturbating to a woman in November 2021. Okay, but
Question.
my question is who is Ray in relation to? When you say has appeared in live streams on YouTube with Singhorn, that is that's vast. They could have been on the
That
same channel, like they could have been on his channel, could have been on her channel, could have been on a third party channel, could have been
Screen
working with him
junkies,
on that channel, could have been like this is so
vague.
broad. And the problem is, like, I normally wouldn't have a problem with this, but the reason I'm taking more umbrage with it currently is that you're a tech journalist.
Yeah. And you need to back your shit up, man. And this is also like on November 13th, Ray hosted a live stream on a channel that included new accusation. Where's the link to that live stream?
Yeah, there should be a link here. Absolutely. There should be a link or reference to this.
Because you are now repeating someone's accusation, like someone's accusations here. So you need to link it.
I
You
think
should link it. Ethically, you should link it.
I think there's also like an issue here where she presents this as like an excuse to not share the live stream link is because she asked that her last name be withheld. But if she uses her last name on her YouTube channel, which we don't know the name of,
Yeah. Like,
so it's not even like I can go find her channel, right? Because like REI, if I just Google REI or I just go into YouTube search and search REI, how the fuck?
maybe you can maybe go with REI, Andy Signor, or Screen Junkies, accusation, blah blah. Maybe you will find something. But the thing is that you can keep someone who works on YouTube, who is a, who has become public on a public platform like YouTube, asking to be kept confidential. Okay, but
I
if you're
understand
using
last names. I understand like wanting to keep your docs to
but then now
yourself.
but then you're using their work to substantiate something.
Right.
You need to provide me with a link for it so we can watch for ourselves and decide whether it's substantial or not, because now you are repeating someone's accusations here. It's not alleged.
At worst, it's lazy.
Lazy.
Sorry, at best it's lazy. At worst, it's intentionally hiding this live stream or this channel so people can't go find it and go verify what was actually being said.
People in today's
Or
day and
check
age,
the
people
validity.
are resourceful. Yeah, people are resourceful. They will go and find. They can find it if they want to.
Sure.
But you not providing it, Kat, tells me something.
Well, it's journalistic integrity, it's journalistic responsibility, it's journalistic standards that if you're going to say that this thing exists and you're going to be talking about it, that you add links. I don't know if you noticed, but if you look at the description down below, there's links to this article. There's links to Andy's response because he did give a response and we'll talk about that. But there's links to so you guys can go check that what we're looking and I'm also showing it on the screen. Like it's not like I'm just telling you what this says.
We're quoting her whole article, if I might say.
In response to a series of emailed questions, Singhorn said NBC News was, quote, sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults, end quote. He didn't provide specific responses to other questions about his YouTube operations.
Where are the list of questions then?
I mean, I understand not listing all of the questions or whatever, but it's...
and what was the question you asked that he replied to as sensationalizing a private relationship?
Yeah, this would be better in response to a list of email questions, and then list the question that he's answering when you say that when you quote him.
In response
at least
not a I think so. It should have, again, cat journalism. It should have been written as, and the information provided should have been as, in response to one of the several emailed questions, which is, and the question, put the question in, what the question was. Signor said blah 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 to that in response.
If
right?
you're just
And
reading this, though, right? If you're just reading this and you don't know and you haven't looked up anything and you haven't gone to go check, you're just saying, okay, so he was emailed some questions and all he said was shitting on NBC.
yeah, and yeah, like why not post your question?
So, well, and the question
What?
is that what happened? Right? So,
Yeah.
like, let's look. Let's see. Is that what happened? We have the list of emails
Yay!
for the list of questions.
Yeah, it's a little blurry,
blurry.
but we'll read it out for you.
Do you think do you think we have a clearer one? I can check to see if I've got a clearer one. This is the one that
Intrigued yet?
it's Intrigue did send us another one. I don't know if this one's any more clear.
No,
I can
I
can try. Let's go back to this real quick. I will try and give us a clearer one.
Yeah.
Nope, that is just as blurry and harder to navigate.
Yeah. And I wonder where this I think so the screenshot came from Andy Signor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Popcorn Productions producers
So,
and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, there's Kat's name. I can zoom it in to make it a little bit easy. I don't know if that'll make it any easier to read, but I did my best. From Kat, December 2nd, 2022. So she had she was working on this article since at least December 2nd, if not earlier. It came out the 9th.
Like okay.
So like a week.
She worked on this. Yeah, so he worked on this article for a week. Okay.
Dear Andy Singorn, request for comment, NBC News. Dear Andy Singorn, this is Kat Tenbarge with NBC News. As if you don't know each other, I'm working on an article about your success covering Amber Heard and Johnny Depp on your YouTube channel, Popcorned Planet. That's a nice way to phrase your own article.
Yeah, like, again, she's kind of implying again that there's a negative annotation with getting, like, if you're going to talk about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, why won't you talk about what's the content that's being covered? Why are you so fixated on the success of it? I don't get it. As if the success of it just diminishes whatever has been brought up.
Or success in covering the Johnny Depp on your YouTube channel, Popcorn Planet, after you left Screen Junkies in 2017. Ooh, after you left.
There's a reason why she says that he left. There's a reason. Mm-hmm. She doesn't say fired. There's a good reason for that. We'll cover it later.
I'm reaching out in advance to ask questions and give you the opportunity to comment. Please let us know if you have any comments prior to December 6th at 5 p.m. EST. So 3 days.
She get yeah.
No, 4 days. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't count. Were you fired from Screen Junkies? Why?
Oh, here we go. So did she say allegedly when she said he was fired, or did she just straight up say he was fired?
I think she just said he was fired. Let me check.
Okay. Yeah.
You can read the next one if you want while I look.
What is your response to the allegation of sexual harassment and the allegation of sexual assault made against you in 2017? Why would he? It's not his job to address it.
It's particularly impressive considering that not long ago the YouTube forced company Singor founded, the YouTube focused company Singor founded, Screen Junkies, said it had fired him.
Okay, so she's quoting them, saying they fired him.
Again, they said that she's saying that they said they fired him.
Okay, where's the link? Mm-hmm. Again, would love to have a link. She didn't provide any link there. And there's a reason why I'm hyper focusing on that, because we have a reason for it. We'll give the nuggets coming later. Yeah. So yeah, next one.
What is your response to the allegations of sexual harassment and the allegations of sexual assault made against you in 2017? Do you stand by your response to allegations of sexual harassment and alleged sexual assaults in your 2019 video, The Truth About Annie Singhorn, a hashtag MeToo misfire? So he already made a statement and she's asking him again if,
Yeah.
like, why? I don't understand this line
It's
of
like
questioning.
she's baiting him into say something that can be then used against him.
Well, that's the reason why I'm not really understanding this questioning is that if he already made a statement about these allegations in that 2019 video and she knows he made a statement, why is she asking the first question? Asking for
Again,
clarification about like the second question being like, hey, you made a response about this back in 2019. Is there anything more you wanted to add or any additional contents that like da 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 da? But it's such a broad question.
it's a broad question again, and it's vaguely specific. Like, what exactly? What in the video are you asking about? Right?
It's
Like,
Yeah, and I'm just
do you stand
curious.
by your response?
Are these are these the questions that are standard for NBC to be asking? Like, is this like they have like a checkbox that they have to do? Like, is there a set
Yeah.
standard at NBC where they're like,
Did
okay,
this go
if
through a
you're
lawyer?
doing, yeah, if you're covering this, do you then check these boxes? Yeah, it's hard to read. There's not anything we can do about it. This is the best screenshot we could get. It's hard
Sorry,
for me to
guys.
read.
Yeah, it's like
What is your
driving it.
response to the allegations of misconduct made by former Screen Junkies fans on social media in 2017, including that you made unwelcome romantic and sexual advances toward fans, such as directly messaging them to ask for sexy photos or meet up in person? This is still 2017.
She's going back and forth. She started in 2017, then went to 2019, then went back again to 2017. Lady, keep your questions in a timeline, please. It's confusing.
It just seems to me that she's stuck in 2017, right? So she's like the response to allegations from 2017 in your 2019 video, you addressed these things, but also address them again. The first three questions can all be wrapped into one question.
I think so. She didn't watch the video. That's why she put those three questions there.
I don't know. What is your response?
I'm not going to be surprised.
Do you understand by your statement that you quote flirted with fans and do you stand by your statement that you flirted with fans and cheated on your ex-wife? What? If he already said that he flirted with fans and I don't understand.
What does his private life has to do with what he does on a public platform like YouTube? What the fuck is wrong with you, Kat?
I don't understand what this has to do with her whole reason for emailing him, though, was I want to talk to you about your success covering Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Do you stand by that you cheated on your ex-wife?
What? Do you stand by the statement you gave about the sexual misconduct and sexual harassment claims? Like, what the fuck is this? That's what I'm saying. This is bait and switch. This is a bait and switch. And Kat, this is so disingenuous. Oh my fucking lord.
Have you made money either directly from donations and advertising revenue or indirectly from growing your platform from videos on Popcorn Planet about the 2017 allegations, your exit from Screen Junkies, and your former co-workers?
What does that have to do with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial? And his success around that?
Oh my god, Sean noticed the same thing I did. Have you stopped hitting your wife?
Yeah, oh my fucking lord. Oh god.
I don't understand.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's a bait and switch. In the first paragraph, she's talking about, I want to talk about your YouTube success. And then she starts talking about the allegations that were 5 years ago. And then you go to the title of the article, right?
Yep.
What are you trying to, like, okay, if you have read the title of the article, yeah, these questions will make sense. But the first paragraph in a video, here in this screenshot for the email, it's like bait and switch. It is. It's like I'm working
Yeah,
on
it's
About Your Success covering Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. And okay, sorry. And what does he say after that? Sorry, if you can go up there
after you
on
left
your
Screen Junkies.
in 2017.
Yeah, so it's like after you left Screen Junkies, you managed to create a successful channel despite Me Too accusations. Let's talk about that. But these questions still don't make any sense.
Yeah. If he has already made a statement, why are you asking him? What does he stand by them again?
These are the
If
same.
he
These are the
hasn't,
kinds of questions you would ask after you've already talked to somebody. So, like,
yeah,
if I send an email saying, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this thing," yada yada yada, and then you started having a conversation, and then near the end of the conversation, or as I was wrapping up that part of the conversation, I'd be like, "Okay, so you did make these statements before. Was there anything to add to them, or about these specific allegations, or from all of the statements in 2017 and all those allegations?" Do you have like a generalized statement or yada 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 yada, right?
I still don't get it. Success of Johnny Depp and how many questions are there in total? Five,
No.
five, six, seven.
One,
First
two,
seven.
three, Manya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bullet points, not including multiple questions within those bullet points.
And the first 7 questions are about the accusations. Is that what it is?
Well, let's finish going through them and see how many of them were. Have you made money about these accusations? Have you appealed to people who identify as victims or survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence in your content? What does that mean? Appealed as in, am I appealing to people like this, or appealed to as in I've asked them specifically for something? Have you solicited donations from people who identified as victims or survivors to fulfill your mission of pop culture justice? Where is this quote coming from?
Yeah, where is this coming from? It's so confusing. And
Did you
also
go ahead?
like the first one, the question before that, it's implying that he's already done that kind of thing, right? It's like, have
Sure,
you?
like the questions
I
are
haven't watched your content. I haven't done my research. Can you confirm it for me? Like, it's like, why should he do the work for you? You asshole, do your work, go and
well,
watch
it
his
just
shit and then
it at best this shows a complete misunderstanding about the way YouTube works
yeah.
in totality. So it's
And
like,
she's a tech.
have you solicited donations from people who identify as victims? I don't solicit donations. This is a channel. You get super chats, you get memberships. Those aren't considered donations. They're
And
income. Now, on the other hand, we do know that Andy and his teams and his shows have done charity drives. So unless she's talking
yeah.
about the charity drives, which is something completely different, that he's not going after specific individual unless you're implying or saying or have evidence that he's specifically targeted individuals who have identified themselves for them specifically for donations, like he's sent them emails or something. You got dick, and this doesn't make any sense.
So we see that, like, where the question she asked, do you stand by a response to the allegation, right? And then she links the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Me Too misfire.
Yeah.
Here she's making a claim, almost a claim, that he solicited donations from people who identify as victims, and then quotes someone, but she provides no link to it for some reason.
Okay, did your content bring in more views, subscribers, and money after you began discussing the aforementioned topics?
What?
So
Which aforementioned?
the aforementioned topics being the 2017 allegations and Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Did your content bring more views and subscribers and the money? I think so. If you went and watched his videos, it would be quite evident. You can come to a conclusion, like, yourself.
This question right here shows you the exact problem. She's already assumed the answers to the previous questions.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you have any comments on your criticism of NBC News and reporter Kat Tenbarge?
So it's funny how she separates herself from NBC News. Like, I am my own entity kind of thing. Like, I don't work for NBC News or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
She's also the one who emailed this. So she's talking about
yeah.
herself in the third person. But besides that, that's the quote we were looking at came from.
Oh,
When she said that you've in response to a series of emails questions, Singhorn said NBC News was sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults. Do you have any
so,
comments on your criticism of NBC News and reporter Kat Tenbarge?
and I think so. That was a fair assessment based on the questions that have been asked before this one. All the questions that have been asked before this one.
I mean, all of the questions asked before this one have been addressed in the video she linked.
Yeah. She doesn't do
So,
her homework. She wants other people to do the work for her.
or even if she had watched the video, you could assume that the answer to all of these is no or no comment or see video. So any answer not given to all of these questions above this highlighted one theoretically are addressed
This
in this. It have
this
already been
sounds
answered.
this sounds like a formality to me. Oh, here are the
Oh.
questions. Would you like to comment? It's like a formality. Oh yeah, he didn't reply. She knew that he wouldn't reply the way she has worded these questions. Oh, that one check box is ticked. Now she can go ahead and write whatever she wants to.
Do you
That's
believe
what
your
this is.
coverage of the Depp Heard trial was balanced for
Now,
for and against both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? I don't know. Do you? Do you,
has your
Kat?
coverage been has your coverage been balanced, Cat? I don't think so.
What do you
Rules for thee,
mean?
but for not for
No,
me.
there's immediately a problem with this as well. Like just the kind of the philosophy of
There's an
journalism
assumption.
is balanced for and against both Johnny and Amber. You're pretend neutral. Pretend neutral
Yeah,
means when you have two sides, that you're looking at, and you're gonna be neutral and you're gonna be objective as best as you can be about whatever you're looking at, and the scales tip so drastically in one direction, and then you put your foot on the other scale to try and treat both things equally, you're not balanced anymore. You're being pretend neutral. And that's what's being described here. Being balanced for and against both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard makes no sense. It should just say balanced towards both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, because you can be balanced towards both of them and treat both of their claims and accusations equally. And when you do, you realize very quickly that Amber Heard objectively lied in court.
yeah,
Objectively. Whereas
yeah.
Johnny, not there's not much you can say on that. Maybe he did, maybe
No.
he didn't, but you could have a discussion about that. You can't do that with Amber. Amber objectively lied. So to say that have you been balanced both for and against Johnny Depp and Amber, that's not the way you're supposed to approach these kinds of things, particularly if you're covering the news.
Yeah, like imagine like the person who exposed the Theranos, right?
Mm.
Of all of the fraud and stuff, like and someone asked that journalist, have you been fair to both Elizabeth Holmes and the patients whose lives were put at risk?
Both for
Like,
and against. You can be
yeah,
fair and objective and
yeah,
staunchly land on one side.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
picking a side or coming to a conclusion doesn't mean you haven't been objective, and doesn't mean you haven't been fair, and it doesn't mean you haven't been balanced. It means that you've found enough to be conclusive about
yeah,
where you've fallen.
exactly, yeah. And
When
also,
things are so one-sided, to remain center as if they're both equal means that you did not do anything objective at all.
yeah, you are giving special treatment to one party. That's what's
Right.
happening. And
Exactly.
also, there's an assumption in this question. And Intrigue Feline said previously, they brought up a statement. She's poisoning the well here.
Sure.
She's poisoning the well. And also, Intrigue Feline also mentioned that there was, if I remember, there was another reporter who claimed they had reached out to Andy Signor for an article, but then Andy said, I don't know who the fuck you are. You never contacted me, and they had an egg on their face. This has happened before.
Yeah.
So I think so this time, uh, that reporter also, and now Cat also are
Didn't they
doing.
do it to that umbrella guy?
Yes, I think so. Yes, both of them, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And so this is what they're doing. They're taking the checkbox. So I asked him I gave him the opportunity. Did you hit your? Have you stopped hitting your wife? you
Do
know.
you make money? Do you make money from Cash App and PayPal donations in addition to YouTube super chats? And do you receive the full value of those donations on Cash App and PayPal versus YouTube taking a cut or super chats? You're a tech reporter. You should know how the payment plans
That
work.
works. Yeah, and
Payment
also
plan, sorry, the withdraw.
what does his income have to do with anything?
This is a
I
nonsense
don't
question.
I don't understand. Like, why are you so
as
concerned
a
about?
tech and culture reporter, you should first off understand how Cash App works. Second off, understand how PayPal works and what percentages work and what exchange rates do and yada 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 yada, like how it functions from a base level. And you should also understand the percentage that YouTube takes off of super chats, and you should be up to date on that. So if there's been a change, you should know about it. You're a tech reporter.
Yeah. You don't know how PayPal donations work. You don't know how Cash App works.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. Interview line said it was Kat herself actually who did that previously, so she's checking a box off so that she doesn't get an egg in the face this time too.
She
So,
learned
just a
her lesson
formality.
but didn't learn well enough. How much have you
Yeah.
made from how much have you made from donations from fans?
Which donations are you talking about?
Did you send blank name unsolicited nude photos and video of yourself?
Oh, here we go.
Including a video of you masturbating while saying her name in November of 2021 after she messaged you, quote, I think we should keep it platonic, end quote, on Telegram, and when she worked for Popcorn Planet as an unpaid moderator. Did you ever tell blank she, quote, shouldn't ever tell, end quote, anyone about the things you sent her on Telegram? What do you mean worked for Popcorn Planet as an unpaid moderator? Hey mods, I'm really sorry, but you don't work for me. I don't know what to tell you. You are not my employees.
Okay.
There's no contract there.
Again, my brain froze, but I need to break this down. Again, she's assuming things in her questioning, and she say the last question. Did you, if you can just bring it a little, yeah. Did you tell blank she shouldn't ever tell anyone about the things you sent him on Telegram? If you are exchanging sexual content with each other, if consenting adults and are exchanging sexual content with each other, and one adult tells to another, please don't ever tell anyone about this. It's a fair request, you asshole. If it's a consenting, relationship or consenting exchange, we don't know that it's an allegation. We don't know for a fact that it was like, unsolicited. We don't know that for a fact. It's like, oh my fucking lord.
I mean, we've already got an indication just from the first quote. I think we should keep it platonic means that there was already advances going one way or another, right? Or both. So it's just like, oh, we've decided to test something out, or we're leaning in a direction. But you know what? Maybe she then decided to back off. But we don't know. There's not enough information here. There's been no charges as far as I know. There's not any investigation going on into this as far as I know. The fact that you're framing this person as somebody who worked for Popcorn Planet, but they were a mod on the channel as a tech journalist, I have a problem with this.
Doesn't she know that moderators don't get paid on YouTube? Like, there's no like formal way of paying moderators via YouTube.
I mean,
doesn't she know?
Not through YouTube. No, I mean, you could have like professional moderators that are part of a team that you've built that get paid and da 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 da. You could do that. You could have that. But the fact that you already listed this person as an unpaid moderator that worked for a channel that doesn't advertise that they have a professionally moderated chat or something like that. As far as I know, that's not
Yeah.
that's not anything that I've heard of from Popcorn Planet. And the only place I've even ever heard that from has been Critical Role. But Critical Role is fucking huge comparatively.
Yeah, that's like its own entity. Like, but also like, what does her being paid or not paid have to do with the allegations?
I also don't know
How
what
are they related?
any of this has to do with his success for when it comes to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, right? These are two separate things, and she's trying to lump them together to try to discredit. This is why it's a hit piece. To try to discredit his criticism of Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and the case and
Exactly.
their coverage of
Yeah.
the case. And you know specifically her and her coverage of the case because she exposed that when she said, "Do you have any comments of your criticism about NBC News?" And the reporter Kat Tenenbarge lumped in to these questions about, are you getting money because you assaulted somebody or allegedly assaulted somebody? And are you getting paid for this? And did you do this? Do you have extra comments about this? This is, why would you lump these things together? This isn't you've asked one question about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and the question is, do you think you've been fair and balanced?
Yeah, and also
Fox News thinks they're fair and balanced. Shut up. At least to the press, they do.
Yeah, and also like she's talking about the backlash of the Me Too movement. So far, I've seen like one allegation come from one person here in these questions, and also in the article so far, nothing like, yeah, again in the article also just one person. So how is this a Me Too backlash? I don't get it. Like, or is it like she's talking about Andy Signor and his coverage about like bringing backlash to Me Too? Puck, everyone, puck in the chat, puck in the chat, puck in the chat. Puck in the chat, everybody. Yeah, these questions are like so like clumped together, and come across as just a formality. Is a hit piece because I still have no idea what Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial and how Me Too #Me Too is connected. I have no idea. I don't know how she made that connection. And okay, Andy Signor is the connection, but then it means you are going for a hit piece because there's nothing connecting the two, the Me Too movement and the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Me Too movement was about multiple women coming together and exposing that they have been abused by the same person. That's what Me Too meant. Hey, welcome back, Chesh.
No.
I'm just saying, like, I was saying, like, I still don't know what's the connection between the #Me Too movement and Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I don't see the connection there. But if you're saying that Andy Signor is the connection because he brought the skepticism to the Me Too movement, one, you haven't demonstrated how he brought that skepticism. Because I think so. What he did was oh yeah, from the Me Too misfire, that video. Okay, maybe. But Me Too movement was about when multiple women or multiple victims came forward and said that they were victimized by one person. Puck. Yeah, we saw Puck in the live chat. Yeah.
Hey.
Aww. Hey. Hello, Puck. He's a good boy. I'll give him a back scratch, yes.
Okay. These questions get worse.
Yeah. And Intrigue Feline brings up a really good question from the live chat. Why dredge up stuff that has been dealt with back in 2019? Like, I don't get it.
Right. If he's already addressed it, which she acknowledges that he has, why is she bringing it up now, or why isn't she just using what was said in those videos?
I might be repeating myself here, but I still don't see how Me Too is #Me Too is connected to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I just don't get it. I have no idea how.
Because Amber Heard was a speaker for Me Too people, allegedly, according
allegedly.
To her.
But
did you?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you
The
deny
concept of
Blank's allegations from a YouTube video in November 2022 in a YouTube video on your own channel?
what? Okay, this is like bullshit. This is so bullshit. That's what I'm saying. This is a check in the box. This is a check in the box because these questions make no sense. Do you deny allegations? If he hasn't denied it yet, that means he doesn't deny it. He hasn't made a video about it. So, because he is very good at, we have seen a pattern here, right? Andy Signor is very good at addressing shit. He makes a video about it if he wants to address shit. Whether he's addressing the accusations, denying
Whether
them,
you believe him or not isn't relevant. Yeah. So like you could believe that he's assaulted people, you could believe he did whatever thing. That doesn't make these questions any better.
Yeah. Like what are you
Do you believe there's an inconsistency in referring to the video of you masturbating as both quote revenge porn and as a deep fake?
That what revenge, a deep fake can be revenge porn, you idiot, and deep fake is considered revenge porn, you asshole. What the fuck? Okay, she has no fucking idea what she's talking about. And she's a tech and culture.
You'd think that a tech and culture reporter,
journalist would know whether if you deepfake someone's face on a porn star in a porn video and sending it to someone or putting it out in public, whether it's revenge porn or not. It is.
Do you believe there's an inconsistent... We spoke with 3 people who told us you have used your platform to harass them and others. Do you have a response to that claim? Who? You would have to say who it was.
In what context are you talking about? Again, there's an assumption here. And I don't blame him for just answering one question. He's like, what the fuck, bitch?
Well, we have his response that he sent on December 6th.
Oh, it wasn't just that those 4 to 5, that phrase in quotes. It was a full proper response. Are you telling me that? And they didn't post all of that to her questions? So not only she didn't...
Yeah, it went back to her, right? 3 days ago.
On the 6th of December.
On the 6th of December. Kat Tenenbarge has been embroiled in a public controversy with me in the past and has publicly taken Amber Heard's side while admitting to me she did not watch the trial. This raises obvious concerns about her reporting and particularly this piece, like the piece she's writing about him. I respect Miss Tenenbarge's opinions, but she does not tolerate mine, and her questions make it seem like she has made up her mind without proper fact-checking. Miss Tenenbarge questioned how much money I make as a YouTuber covering news is ironic given that NBC does the same. The fact that NBC is sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults does not meet journalistic standards. I've had multiple threats to extort me to admit to consensual relationships, and NBC is unwittingly being used to humiliate and violate my rights.
Oh, fucking Lord. So he's calling out NBC, and this is such a well thought out, and so this is so much more articulate than the questions that Kat Tenenbarge sent. You would agree, right? And addresses everything.
Okay, so the first chunk of this, all the way, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The first 9 questions are absolute nonsense and have already been addressed. And you don't need to ask this question. Like, a couple of them don't need to be asked because you can... Well, all of them don't need to be asked. One, you can check Social Blade, or you can look at the numbers, and you can get screenshots and find out how much and yada, 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 yada. You're not going to necessarily... You're not necessarily going to get exact numbers, but you're going to be able to have, like, a rough estimate. Particularly if you're a tech reporter, you should be able to know how to find this information. Second off, the allegations have already been addressed in the video that she linked, so you don't have to bring that up. Then the only question that the only 2 questions here that are reasonable are, do you have any comments about your criticism about NBC News and the reporter? And do you believe that your coverage about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard has been balanced, which are both already problematic in their own way? Now to the next bottom half of the questions. questions about Cash App, PayPal versus donations and stuff. Nonsense question. How much have
Yep.
you made from donations from fans? No, maybe depending on the context that you're asking that question, but in this sense, it doesn't make any sense. And the last
No.
4 can be completely ignored because of one, the way they're worded, and two, that she acknowledges that it's already been addressed. So
Yeah.
you could pretty much ignore
And
this entire email and it wouldn't matter.
yeah, and like Andy said, it's like she's already made up her mind, and this is just a formality that she is conducting so that she can go ahead and write her piece. That's what it sounds like.
Well, I like this bit here where
And
questioning
if
how
you
much
notice,
money where is it? Here. This raises her basically her conflict of interest raises obvious concerns about her reporting. Her lack of fact checking based on her questions is problematic. The hypocrisy of NBC and the fact that news organizations make money off of tragedy, that's
that
a
was a valid
fact.
point. Yeah.
And that they're sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults applies twofold. It applies to Johnny
Yeah.
Depp and Amber Heard. It now also applies to Andy.
Yep. Yep. Very good. That's why I understand why he's covering Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. You can understand why he does that. And the fact that if you notice, what they did was, one, they didn't put in the question to which Andy responded. They never put that question in the article, right?
She didn't
And
even
then
put the whole part.
that's what I'm saying.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's what
even
I'm
that she
saying.
didn't put the question. She cut it off. She cut
just
off
cut
his
it
answer.
off. Yeah. Why? Is it because he made a point and he exposed your conflict of interest, Kat? And that response would have made you look bad?
The fact
Is that why,
NB
Kat?
The fact that NBC is sensationalizing a private relationship between consenting adults does not meet journalistic standards, and it does not address. This takes the context out that he's talking about
Exactly.
his relationship, not necessarily Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, it's like now we know for a fact this is a hit piece. This is a hit piece because if you're a journalist, what will you do? You will put the question you have asked and you will put the full response in. If you do, that's balanced approach.
She
to something.
Didn't even put in the ellipses to indicate that there was more to the quote.
Yeah, she
and
didn't
it's
go
not
dot, dot, dot.
And it wasn't a public quote, it was a private quote.
Yeah.
So it's not like people can go back and double check it.
Yeah, there's no way to verify this.
He didn't provide specific responses to other questions about his YouTube operations. Yes, he did in the videos that you linked to him, saying that he already addressed it. So he did. And he did.
Yeah, and he's not going to teach you how YouTube economics work. That's not his job.
I would also argue that he did give very specific responses to what you said.
Yes.
Very specific responses. They just weren't yes, no.
The specific responses, the hypocrisy of the NBC News, accusing someone from, like you said, profiting off, but profiting by sensationalizing a case while they do the same. For some reason, they have the license to do it on YouTube, but somehow, and it's ethical for them to do that, but somehow it's unethical and immoral for
don't pretend
to do that.
Yeah, don't pretend that NBC News is not on YouTube, because they are.
Yeah, it is, and they do cover tragedies, school shootings, everything. They cover everything.
Singor's evolution reflects an ongoing pushback against the #MeToo movement, as well as the shifting economics on YouTube, which combined with the attention around the Depp Heard trial to elevate Singor and other creators to new heights. A Pew Research Center study, she was able to link that, last year found that people ages 18 to 49 were far more likely to say they regularly consumed news through social media than people's ages 50 and up, with YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok all among the most popular platforms.
I have a problem with that whole thing.
So what?
I have a problem with it. She's trying to insinuate that for some reason that the pushback to the Me Too movement is causing that people between 18 to 49 are watching more YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. these platforms are designed to keep your attention and so that you continuously use them.
I think there's a
Whether
misnomer about what the Me Too movement actually is.
yeah, that's what I keep saying. Like, I have no fucking idea what the Me Too movement has to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I have no fucking clue. And I, that's why it's a hit piece, because yes, Andy Signor, because the only connection between these two is Andy Signor, because he has been critical about the Me Too movement in the past. That's what it is.
I like that I got blocked. I've been following Kat for a long time and commenting for a long time, and the time I get blocked is when I say I'm going to take a critical look at one of her articles.
Ooh, she didn't like that. That was spicy for her, eh? And it's also like she's trying to insinuate for some reason that the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, or that that like evolution of pushback against the Me Too movement is somehow contributing to the people who are coming onto the platform now.
It's a weird implication that people wouldn't be pushing back against the Me Too movement, whatever she means by that, because I'm not entirely clear that we're talking about the same things. Is that there wouldn't be any pushback if it wasn't for YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, amongst other platforms. But we've looked at this in the past and seen how many pro Amber Heard articles and YouTube videos and that are all over on Twitter and on Instagram, that are all over the place.
Intrigue Feline in the live chat is like, we spoke with 3 people's objection hearsay.
Yeah. On those platforms, a new crop of social media commenters like Signor have emerged, often putting particular spins or slants on topics they choose to cover.
I think so. She's projecting here. You're projecting, Kat.
And those topics often tend to skew towards culture war issues. What is this article? What is this article we're reading right now?
Yeah. What?
A biased article that did not expose its conflict of interest of the article of the author right out the gate, that has a slant in a direction, that is picking and choosing to put a spin on someone's particular answer to a particular question, which you cut the end of the answer off, implying that it was in response to something that it wasn't necessarily actually in response to.
Insinuating something that wasn't there. And also, what we have seen now here is Kat knows that as a journalist, she's supposed to provide references if she makes claims, right? She needs to provide resources from where she's coming from. That Pew Research Center study, I don't know, whatever it is an example, right? So for her to not do that in the instances that we have covered so far, tells me that she has an agenda there. Simple as that.
But here's the thing. I don't know why this is a problem. Like, this is not what this article is about. Unless this is supposed to be what the article is about. Is the article supposed to be about where people are getting their news from and whether or not YouTube commenters or YouTube reporters are under specific guidelines? Because the thing is that the media hasn't been following journalistic guidelines for a long time, and they pick and choose when to apply it and when not to, and different journalists will decide different things, and different editors will decide different things. So if you're already not following it, why does it matter if YouTubers follow it or not? And I would argue that there's something to be said for YouTubers being held to a different kind of standard that is self-imposed by the environment that they work in.
Yes. Also, so the whole statement is a study last year found that people ages 18 to 49 were far more likely to say they regularly consumed news through social media. Wonder why? Have you seen how the mainstream media covered the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard trial? Have you seen that? Maybe you are responsible for your own demise, that the new generation coming in does not trust you.
Mm-hmm. And clearly this is all Andy's fault. This one guy.
Yeah.
his fault.
Or Tug, the umbrella guy's fault. Those two guys. Yeah. And it's funny, like, how she doesn't go after the LawTube community.
Period. And those topics often tend to skew towards culture war issues, particularly when they feature major celebrities, while echoing a growing distrust of mainstream media. Yeah,
That's where her problem lies.
people don't trust you. I can't imagine
Yeah.
why after we just saw those
Yeah.
emails. Quote, there's a weird kind of inversion that has been happening where individual people seem more trustworthy than the system, end quote, said Emily Dreyfus, a senior editor and fellow on the Technology and Social Change Project at Harvard University Shorenstein Center. Is it really that weird?
No.
When a
not.
system
And
or a conglomerate is never held accountable, but an individual can be, why is that bizarre?
is a bizarre. Also, so far we have seen that Cat does not quote people correctly, so we don't even know whether this
that's
quote
what-
is correct or not.
Well, we also don't know. We also don't know if the quote about Andy and what he did or did not do is accurate.
Exactly.
So we
Yeah,
don't even know
like,
if that quote's accurate either.
Yeah, like, are you quoting this Ray person correctly, or are you just putting in more there than it was? And also, yeah, like, and what question did you exactly ask that Harvard project lead?
The Depp
I
Heard
don't know.
trial proved a pivotal. The Amber Heard trial proved a pivotal point for those creators, alongside Singer and many others, including creators with legal backgrounds who provide legal commentary, got levels of attention they hadn't seen before on their YouTube channels. This goes to Emily D. Baker on Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, you
behind a paywall, but we are not part of the, we are not part of the YouTube, monetizing news and shit. Yeah, okay, cool. And it's also like this is the only time she has mentioned the LawTube community. I wonder why. Because the Umbrella Guy and Andy Signor are low-hanging fruit and easier targets. If she even so mentioned the LawTube community, she would have gotten sued with MSNBC News so fast, and she would have been fired so fast nobody would have seen it come. Like, it would have been like within a day. Like, that's why there's a reason she's going for low-hanging fruit.
Or she's going for things that are people that are not big enough. Like, if she was to write an article like this, like a hit piece about somebody who had maybe more power or influence than Andy does. And that's not to say that Andy is small. He's a lot larger and a lot more well-known than I am, for example, but it's just it's a point about if you've got this really big chip on your shoulder about that we need to go and get all these men, or we need to go and get, like, take down all these yada 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 yada, whatever it is that, because I don't really know what her aim is at this point outside of her own notoriety and her own attention, that like, does she think that attacking Andy this way grants more credibility to Amber Heard or herself? Because that's not how that works.
Yeah, this comes across as a Hail Mary to salvage whatever her credibility is left of.
Well, she's trying to also imply that Singorn has less credibility than somebody who has a legal background to comment on the situation. Yeah, and that's not entirely true. It might be on specific topics, right? Or specific parts of the trial, but not when it comes to, like, having experienced being Me Too'd, or whether or not you're a man who's been abused, or whether or not you're somebody who exists on the planet and has interactions and social interactions with people. And also, or maybe if you watched the fucking trial before you started making content and documentaries about it.
Yeah, that would have been a good head start and a good place to start your research on. And also, when she's talking about, like, this increase in, like, dependency of people aged between that age gap on social media and social personalities for views, is she including creators with legal backgrounds also?
Matt Jarbo, a full-time YouTube creator, said the origins of Singorn's and similar creators' new style of content traces to around 2017 and the so-called YouTube apocalypse. In response to advertisers' concerns about ads appearing on racist and anti-Semitic videos, YouTube gave advertisers more tools to limit which creators could make money from their ads, including allowing advertisers to opt out of ads on content about tragedy and conflict or sensitive social issues. The restructuring of YouTube's advertiser tools reined in revenue for many small creators, including those whose content wasn't racist or anti-Semitic in the first place.
I don't think so. She knows what
Okay.
YouTube was. YouTube Apocalypse that?
It was a lot of things.
It was a lot of, but she's like implying it's that one thing.
Well, whatever. I mean, if you, I don't understand why this. Are you? Okay. I don't understand what this sentence has to do with anything else besides, hey, we're finally getting into the technicalities of why Singorn might be successful, but it doesn't actually talk about why he would be successful. So let's see. Around the same time, YouTube introduced Super Chats, a tipping option within the platform chat rooms for viewers to pay creators directly during live streams. Kind of. That pushed Jarbo and other creators in a new direction, appealing directly to already polarized audiences for tips, he said. Okay, I would agree with that, yeah. Quote, and that made everyone go, how can I become more hyperbolic when I stream? How can I make more money that way? End quote, Jarbo said. I really want to call him Garbo, but that's not what it's supposed to be, Jarbo. It's been a nightmare ever since. This is one person's take.
This is valid. Yeah. I think so. It's a valid opinion because we have seen that the more quote unquote hyperbolic you are or more instigating you are, like you see Sneeko, Andrew Tate, and all these people, the more like out of the world you are.
It's not new.
Controversy
sells. Yeah. Controversy sells. This isn't new. This is something that there's a reason why you have Fox News versus MSNBC versus they do this same CNBC. Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The algorithm, YouTube's algorithm is problematic, sure, but she hasn't gotten to the point where Jarbo said he and other creators pivoted to reactionary content that fell into, quote, anti-SJW or anti-social justice warrior category. Jarbo said he has reflected on and now regrets some of the content he created. Okay, well, good for Jarbo. This isn't about Jarbo.
But I have a comment here. Like
you get both sides, right? And you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And it's also like they're trying to somehow again put this whole thing like being watching this like reactionary content into one big basket, and they are thinking that the audiences don't go around vetting what they're watching. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it could be because they're watching reactionary content, or maybe because they trust that source more than other sources. You see, like, there are different drama channels who cover drama, but audiences go to specific ones for, information. So it's like, I don't know.
So it's
putting all the eggs in one basket.
Well, this is talking about what happened in 2017 and how vitriolic and how polarizing content on YouTube got when the adpocalypse happened. When the adpocalypse happened, nobody knew what to do because everything went to shit. Because everything in the algorithm changed, the amount of money everything was worth or what it was making all went to shit, and not everybody knew what to do with their content or how to change or adapt their content, and that's fine. And it was chaos. Chaos ensued.
It was. Yeah.
However, we're now in 2022, and that chaos has long since simmered down. And so we also had COVID. And over COVID, a lot of people were like, hey, I'm sitting at home doing nothing. I'm going to make YouTube content. And so you've seen a change and a shift in what's available. There's a lot of people who are basically like, I'm an old bored person at home, so I'm going to have my tea time gossip, but I'm going to do it on the internet where everybody can see it, causing a whole hell of a lot of problem.
Yeah.
And now you've also got these other... there's a lot going on here, and to imply that is still the case, and that is still
pendulum effect. It's a pendulum effect that happened, right? It swings one way and then swings the other way and then comes back into an equilibrium. Now we are coming back to that equilibrium, sort of, kind of.
I mean, no, I wouldn't call it a pendulum in this case because everything went to shit. There was no pendulum. It was just, let's blow up the pendulum and then see where everybody lands. And some people landed here, some people landed there, some people landed on this side. And so there's like, some people did go like hyper anti SJW, some people went pro social justice, other people went
Liberal, yeah.
neither. Some people went into covering politics, some people went into covering celebrity news. Like there was, you could go it was a time of
Any
great
direction.
resetting of you could just
Yeah.
do whatever you wanted with your channel and
Yeah.
see what stuck. But that has to do with the sentiment of the algorithm, but also the algorithm is driven by what people choose to watch at
People
the end
want,
of the
yeah.
day. So whatever, this is not, and this isn't a story about Jarbo, so why the fuck are we putting so much stock in what this guy has to say about it?
Like, so for some reason she's implying that screen junkies, because they take it head on and they don't like regret how they handled their content and how they handle their growth.
Sure.
But because Jarbo does, so for some reason Jarbo is excused for that growth, but Andy is not.
I don't understand she hasn't even said who this person is.
She said he's a YouTube creator, and I found the channel.
Yes, so what? I'm a YouTube creator. What's your point? Like, you see what I mean? She's not giving any content. Anyway, she also didn't link to his videos either. The same time, Screen Junkies, the viral YouTube media company Singer created, said that it had
YouTube media company.
said that it had fired him, citing egregious and intolerable behavior after multiple people came forward on social media claiming that Singhorn had made unwanted romantic and sexual advances towards him. Some people accused Singhorn of messaging them as fans, then asking them for sexy photos or to meet up in person.
Okay. Citing. Oh, there's an article.
Honest trailer creator fired for egregious, Defy Media says.
And here also, again, and here also the dishonesty comes in. This is not the current situation. He sued Defy Media for wrongful firing, if I'm not wrong, and they settled outside court. And for Kat to not include that is very disingenuous, dishonest, and again reiterate the fact that she has an agenda, a bias, and it's just a hit piece. Again, why not tell that he sued that company and he settled with the company?
Well, it would say if you wanted to make this sound more fair and balanced. The same year, Screen Junkies, the viral YouTube, I wouldn't use that word, but whatever, the YouTube media company, the popular YouTube media company Singhorn created, said that it had fired him, citing egregious and intolerable behavior after multiple people came forward on social media claiming that Singhorn made unwanted romantic blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of this put, he later sued them and settled out of court for wrongful dismissal.
That is a balanced approach towards Andy. If you're really trying to be, what do you say, objective.
Not leaving out key bits of information.
Exactly,
a person who accused Singhorn of sexual harassment said they were working unpaid for Singhorn when he told them he had masturbated to their photos and asked whether he could masturbate to them in person. The accuser identified as gender non-binary and uses they and them pronouns. Okay.
Okay. So they're trying to say that multiple people accused Andy Signor. Okay, so that's where the metoo thing comes. Okay. Andy Signor has made a response to it already, and so far she has not cited anything from his response, if I'm not wrong, except the answer that he gave.
You're talking about his YouTube videos where he addressed this stuff.
Yeah.
She also, yeah.
She has brought up nothing, so that tells me this article is a hit piece. It's a hit piece. It's a how about it's a double, the hypocrisy of it. Like she wants Andy to be balanced towards Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but she's not being balanced towards allegedly his victims and him. You know what I mean? She's not being balanced here, at all. She's not presenting any side of case. Like, she's just given that one quote. That wasn't even one quote, and then the rest is whole thing about Andy. So she's not being balanced here. So why is she expecting the same from others, or think that others should do that? So yeah, again, she's like, she has double standards.
I mean,
Oh,
excuse me.
bless you.
There's so many. Again, whether or not you believe who or what about whatever misconduct there was or was not, fine. You can be on Andy's side, you can be on nobody's side, you could just say, I don't have enough information to assess this. But this article is covering something from 2017 that has already been out there since 2017 that
5 years.
that has been addressed on his channel.
Yeah.
That you can go and find, but she doesn't link to any of this information.
You know that phrase, digging dirt? This is what it is, digging dirt.
It's not even, like, it's beyond that, because if he sued Defy Media, well, if he sued Defy Media and they were successful in settling out of court, there is no fault to be had on one person or another. She didn't pull up like court records. She hasn't pulled up like any kind of charges that were made towards him. Now, there's also an issue that you could have that could be an interesting point of conversation, that is how much harassment before it's considered a crime. What is constituted as an unwanted sexual advance to the point that it becomes a crime, right? So, like, if I get a hug from somebody and I don't like it and I don't want it, then what? Do I call the police? No.
Or do I tell them the next time? No.
Or even if I do tell them no and they hug me anyway, is that still a crime? No.
No.
It's not. Should it be? Maybe. Probably not. Because it'd be so hard to distinguish consent or distinguish anything in that case. And also, what harm is being done is the question. So if somebody has, like, if somebody hugs you and it's unwanted, what harm has been done to you?
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's
invaded your personal space.
Well, not even other than that. That might be the harm that's been done to you. That's fine. But that's an elaborate question. Like, it's a nuanced conversation to be had, right? Is this person a stranger? Is this person your aunt? Is this person like a family member? Is this person somebody from work? We don't, there's, if you're an advocate for this kind of thing, these are the conversations I would expect you to have. This is the kind of nuance you would bring to a conversation about whatever went down with Andy in 2017. But that's not what we're seeing. We're getting half-assed information and broken quotes.
It's a copy-paste. It's just a copy-paste. That's what it is. And lazy, like you said, at best. And vindictive at worst.
Hold on, I want to look at something real quick. Okay. A woman who accused him of sexual misconduct said he tried to force her to use sex toys with him during sex, took photos of her without her consent, and offered her a position at Screen Junkies in exchange for sexual favors. After he was fired, Singer acknowledged that he had flirted with fans and cheated on his wife, but he denied other allegations, including the allegations of sexual harassment and the allegation of sexual misconduct. Okay, so he admits to maybe making people uncomfortable and cheating on his wife.
And
don't use your fans as a dating pool. But it doesn't say dating pool. It says flirting. I flirt with people all the time.
Yeah. Yes, you do. It's... Again, it's like, it's another woman or it's the same woman?
It just says like, a woman.
Yeah. And if you go before the paragraph before, she's a person.
A woman.
A woman. It's like... Can you be more specific,
Some people.
Please? Some people. Who are these some people? Oh, 3. Okay. Objection here, Your Honor. Fuck my life.
It was, at the time, a...
precipitous.
What?
Precipitous.
Precipitous?
Precipitous. Yeah.
The fall for a person who had found success during an early and lucrative era of YouTube. In 2007, Singorn accepted a golden popcorn statue for Best Movie Spoof on stage at the MTV Movie Awards in 2016. He worked with Ryan Reynolds on Deadpool parody for Honest Trailers, the flagship series of Screen Junkies. Weeks before the company said he was fired, CNBC reported that Singorn had brought millions of dollars by lovingly poking fun at Hollywood. Yeah.
So he made money for the company he was working?
Yeah, okay. Shocking. At least she knows that CNBC reported on him. She seems to be leaving out all the CNBC report about the money he donated to charities.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not balanced, but she expects other people to give out balanced coverage. And then her balance is somewhat... The definition of balance is skewed.
Jarbo said he and Singorn met around 2018 through a mutual friend in an informal community of creators who have all faced backlash. Jarbo, who said some of his own controversies stem from his involvement in Gamergate, a historic harassment campaign against women online. Of course, Kat gets Gamergate wrong.
Didn't I tell you that these guys were the ones who popped up in Gamergate also? Didn't I tell you that?
And Singor started, quote, meeting other canceled people as he rebuilt his YouTube career. But that's 2018.
Not 17, yeah. And,
he was doing, quote, he was doing a rebound press tour saying, quote, I didn't assault this woman. Here is the proof of that, Jarbo said. The evidence Singor presented in a YouTube video was a series of previously unpublished communications he alleged were between him and his sexual misconduct accuser that implied a consensual sexual relationship had taken place. The woman who had accused him responded at that time with a statement that her allegations still stand. She didn't respond to a request for comment.
So
she didn't want to talk to you either.
Yeah. I wonder why. Maybe she told you something in confidence and you decided to blow it up.
So maybe if we were going to take Kat's approach to this woman, we would say, instead of saying she didn't respond for a request to comment, you would say she was sent a list of questions on email and didn't deny anything. Didn't deny that her allegations were false.
There's like selective treatment here going on. And and also it looks like she did watch the videos. She did watch that video.
At least now we're finding out who Jarbo is. Somebody who knew met Singor in 2018. After
I'd like to see how
the
he was
allegations
involved
in 2017.
Yeah. And also, like, I would like to see what his involvement was in the Gamergate. And it's so she did see the videos. She knew what was in the videos, but she still went ahead and posted those bullshit questions.
Yeah,
it was a formality.
It wasn't.
It was a jab.
Link. There's no link to any of this.
It was a jab. Those questions were a jab. It was trying to incite a response, an emotional response from him, but he didn't give her what he wanted, so she took out the entire response and just gave out a phrase from it without even telling us that there was a whole other response.
A clipped phrase, not even the whole thing.
Yeah.
Singor returned to YouTube in 2018 on his personal channel, Popcorn Planet. When was Popcorn Planet formed?
Yeah, January 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his content started out positive and film-focused, like setting up screenings at movie theaters in Tampa, Florida to interview audience members, but the videos got fewer than 10,000 views. Oh, wow, 10,000 views. I feel so sad for him.
And I think so that's what happens. Hold on. That's what happens when you start a new channel. You don't immediately start getting like hundreds and thousands of views. And I am thrilled that at the start of his career, he's getting 10,000 views on his videos. That means his videos were good. Like, the content was good. People wanted to watch that content. So
yeah, he was starting off with a name as well, so that helps. But the problem isn't that. The problem is that Kat is a tech reporter. She should know how starting a YouTube channel works. He quickly pivoted, pushing back against mainstream media cancel culture and some metoo accusers. He cited examples of progressive criticism aimed at popular celebrities and franchises, but repeatedly took aim at some celebrity accusers and included outlets like BuzzFeed News. Everybody makes fun of BuzzFeed. Like,
yeah, BuzzFeed News is a joke.
so here's a video. Avengers defended Chris Pratt and fight cancel culture, woke Twitter mobs, and Brie Larson fans. Okay, yeah, there were lots of people that were upset about Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Defending
And,
Chris Pratt. Yeah, remember there was that post that Chris Pratt. I'm assuming this is the Chris Pratt one from ages ago where he said something about his wife and everybody went, "Eh."
Yeah.
But this is him reporting that Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, and Olaf himself all came to defend Chris Pratt on Twitter. That's a report. That's not him defending Chris Pratt directly. That's him talking about what they said. But
he might have expressed his own opinion there. What's wrong with that? I don't get it.
He cited examples of progressive criticism of Dave Chappelle, SNL stand-up monologue, Look Who's Offended. Yeah, okay. Dave Chappelle talks about the 2020 election and more, and not everybody was happy about it. Yeah.
Obviously,
no surprise there.
There will be people who will never be happy, who won't be happy with something that goes online. Like what?
SJW boycott Miss Marvel over ridiculous supporting cast complaints. Keyboard outrage from social media mobsters crying out that the new Disney Plus series Miss Marvel is not woke enough, prompting the hashtag Fix Miss Marvel. We discuss. Okay.
So
took aim at celebrity accusers. Okay, so this is all just like his content, and now we're like he took aim at some celebrity accusers.
Michael Jackson secures massive win. Michael Jackson. Judge denies liar Wade Robson lawsuit.
Okay, so he's reporting that Michael Jackson's estate gets judged to toss Wade Robinson's abuse suit.
Okay, so they kind of said that. Okay, I think so. What must have happened? Okay, so that guy is not a celebrity though, is he?
No, he's accusing a celebrity. So he's a celebrity accuser. He's accusing Michael Jackson. But if you're covering whether or not his accusation was tossed out in court, the validity of what did or did not happen is not what you end up discussing. What you're discussing is the court case, and she gave one example of a court case he covered. BuzzFeed News is awful and ruins lives. Change my mind. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean,
okay.
Sigourney also, there's not a single reference to what they're saying here. These don't line up with what's being said.
She was harping about him being critical of the Me Too movement. Where has he been doing that? Show us the examples.
I think, from my understanding, he has been, but she's just not providing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's also this bit here, right? She repeatedly took aim at some celebrity accusers, but there was only one link, and it was talking about the legal case. So
yeah.
Sigourney also tapped into the trend of providing minute-by-minute commentary about major pop culture and true crime news stories, often making dozens of videos on particular topics. That's standard. One was the disappearance of Gabby Petito, who was found dead last year after weeks of searching. Sigourney made more than 80 videos about Petito in just 2 months. Yeah, that's what happens when you're covering an ongoing story.
Everyone covered. The news channels also covered this case extensively. So I don't know why you're singling out Andy Signor. It's like, what?
He dove into the Petito thing until it was like overkill. Jarbo said anything he can latch onto, he's boosted his account now. That's not what boosted mean, first off. Secondly, okay, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
What's your by that argument? 80 views or 80 videos of 2 months. Maybe that could seem excessive, sure, but you need to tell us what metric you're using and judging this by, and then you need to be consistent about it. So
what's the scale? Yeah.
The videos in which Sigourney largely focused on news coverage of Petito's presumed killer, Brian Laundrie, and his family brought in hundreds of thousands of views and paved the way for what was to come with a nonstop coverage of Johnny Depp trial. Okay, sure, whatever. The same year Singorn met Jarbo, he began making videos challenging the allegations against him. The backlash against Heard stated to build and coalesce into a social media movement seeking, quote, justice for Johnny Depp. Depp accused Heard, who wrote a 2018 article in the Washington Post about becoming a public figure representing domestic abuse during the hashtag MeToo, of lying about having experienced abuse to harm Depp's reputation. In the trial, which concluded this year, a Virginia jury sided with Depp, awarding him $15 million in damages. The jury also awarded her $2 million in her countersuit. So you're saying he got popular off of doing something else and then did this, so he didn't get popular off of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Can you decide what made him popular?
Bracket.
Or what did he? Yeah.
In May, this reporter interviewed. In May, this reporter interviewed Singorn about his coverage of Depp and Heard for a potential NBC News story, which ended up not being published. Singorn recorded the interview and released segments of it in July in a YouTube video criticizing NBC's news coverage of the trial. Funny that you didn't link that.
Mention it at the top. Yeah.
Or mention it at the top.
Number one, you didn't link that, and you didn't mention it at the start. Now you're mentioning it all the way down here.
I think there's also a bit of a... there's not really a very clear what that conflict of interest actually is, outside of he released something that you chose not to.
Yeah. Oh. Life is hard. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, release segments of it. No, he released the full thing. It's not segmented.
Yeah.
Or she has at least shown no evidence that it was segmented.
Yeah. Because I guess she didn't record it, so she has no way of sort of showing it, I guess. But
Freddie in the chat says that Andy has a daily show. It's in his channel description. Steph, his producer, said that they jump-started with covering Britney. You could legitimately just go and look at the numbers, which you think there'd be a screenshot of here somewhere or referenced here somewhere that would actually show the blips. And there's a reason why we don't see those numbers or that being posted. He does not need to go outside. The landlord's here looking at something. He's just excited because there's somebody there. There's in addition to that, there's also what you may or may not have noticed is that it doesn't say anything about the back and forth with them on Twitter. It doesn't say anything about they have history.
Yeah.
Like Potato's disappearance. And yeah, if you have a daily show and there's an ongoing thing like Potato, you are going to have at least 2 videos a day talking about that, where at least it comes up. So if you're talking about 2 shows a day, and we're talking about for, how long did he said? 2 weeks?
2 months. 80 videos in 2 months.
It's 80 videos in 2 months. Here we go. 80 videos in 2 months, and it's a 2-month long ongoing issue, and you do daily videos. You're getting 2 videos a day.
Yeah.
That number checks out.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
that's
there's context.
Again, she doesn't know how YouTube works.
It's not the way I do stuff, but there's nothing to say that you can't do things that way. And actually doing things that way is very successful, as we know.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Potato's disappearance, the celebrity trial was feverishly covered by many YouTubers, including Singor, who said in May that this case was, quote, incredibly relatable to him because of the allegations made against him in 2017. Covering Heard as a villain earned Singor his most views on his new channel ever since Screen Junkies had fired him. Said it had fired him. I like how she's leaving that in there because they didn't necessarily actually fire him, or they tried to fire him and got sued for it. Yada 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 yada. So, but she's still leaving that out. But there's covering Heard as a villain. Okay.
Okay. Someone's feces got hurt.
Singor made over 100 videos about Depp and Heard before the trial started, and he had made over 200 about it since then. Singor's most viewed video about the trial at over 6 million views distills the testimony of Depp's bodyguard, which was largely in favor of Depp, from nearly an hour to 15 minutes of clips. In between clips from the trial, Singor commented that he believes the testimony is true and reflects strongly on Depp's case. He dismisses Heard's case throughout. Yeah, okay. But
that's fine.
The millions of views may not have been as lucrative as the donations many creators brought in. Business Insider reported that the top 3 super chat earners on YouTube during the trial, creators who exclusively streamed it, they all made over 1,000 just from tips. Was he in there? Because these are all law YouTubers. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Oh my fucking lord. So yeah, she's trying to somehow insinuate that he was part of those creators, those top 3 super chat creators, right?
But he definitely wasn't, because he wasn't just exclusively streaming the trial. He was making clips and yada 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 yada.
Yeah, and also she leaves out the fact that if he was earning the tips, he was doing his job and getting paid for it. He also donated the money, $45,000.
Well, she keeps fucking mixing up the word tips and super chats and tips and donations. These are different things. Quote, it's always misinformation across the board, and they pull from the same playbook, Jarbo said. If you can tap into that emotional bit with your audience, you will easily be able to manipulate them. Who is this person, and why are we quoting him, and what is he referring to?
Why is he an expert?
We can't.
Why are you using him?
We can't use his quote from you because we know your quotes. We're not getting information from your quotes. Who is this person?
Nope. Yeah, he's a YouTuber, but why are you using him as a scale to judge other YouTubers? Like, what makes him so special?
He sounds like he's got an axe to grind, and you're not telling us what that is. It's not to say that he's wrong to have an axe to grind. Maybe he does, but this is an NBC News article. This is not somebody's fucking blog.
Axe grinding. Axe grinding.
You're using NBC to fucking start some bullshit drama. For what reason? Singhorn makes money directly from his...
Sorry, go on. Keep going.
Singhorn makes money directly from his audience through super chats, often in donations. Yeah, we understand how it works. Blah, blah, blah. Quote, there is no due process, Singhorn says in the May video comparing himself to Depp and one of his accusers to Heard. Quote, every media outlet wanted to jump on it and destroy lives, end quote. Okay.
You mean hold on. There's no due process, innocent. Yeah, that's fine. He was correct. When Depp was accused, there was no due process followed to verify those accusations. And every media outlet did jump on it and is still riding that wave, trying to ride that wave. This article is an example of that.
We got 10 from Freddie saying cheers. Yeah, I'm going to need a beer after this.
Yes.
The messages have resonated on his quote, my own Amber Heard, end quote, video at $49.99 donation, including a message saying, quote, I've been a victim of domestic violence of, in brackets, whatever it was probably assault of some kind. And what Amber Heard is doing is wrong. False accusations make it harder for real victims. I'm glad you came forward to defend yourself, end quote.
What's wrong with that?
Okay.
And what's wrong? What's wrong? For some reason, she thinks that because they donated money along with that message somehow discredits that message. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, she's trying to say that he's benefiting off of people who have been assaulted before, and he's targeting them and manipulating them on purpose for money.
Oh my fucking lord. So she thinks that the people who are donating to him don't have their own agency, their own autonomy. They don't know how to spend their money. Well, they're entitled to spend their money where they want to. Her trying to insinuate that somehow people who are victims or survivors can be manipulated emotionally to donate is kind of taking their agency away.
So the thing is that could happen to anybody, and there could be people that are doing that, but you're going to need a stronger case than what's being presented here to actually show that that's the case. And if you did have a case to show, you're either A, doing a shit job of covering it, or B, you don't have anything. This is the same. This is the same kind of tactic we actually saw from Amber. I'm going to throw out all these accusations. Look at all this proof, and then the proof doesn't match what the accusation is.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It was nothing.
It's fucking nothing. Yeah. Singhorn also encourages his fans to pay him on Cash App and PayPal, where he can receive the full value of the transactions. YouTube takes a cut of super chat donations. Yeah, that's standard.
She knows.
He also has a public Amazon. She also has a public Amazon wish list where fans can buy him a standing desk or an action figure or purchase toys and books for his children.
Aww.
What a dick.
Yeah, looking after his children.
By the
Okay.
way, link below if you want to send my dog a Christmas present. Emotional
Yeah.
manipulation.
Oh my
Look
god,
at his
Chesh.
face.
Look at his puppy
Look at
eyes.
his puppy face.
Look at those squirrel ears.
In July, Singorn raised more than $4,000 from his fans on GoFundMe to build a new studio with 4K cameras for better quality. Oh, $4,000 is not a lot of money.
It's nothing.
Especially if you're buying it like high quality cameras and shit and like building a
Yeah.
studio. 4,000 is like I've done my job and got things for good prices.
And still she hasn't mentioned the fact that he has donated from those proceedings.
Singorn frequently makes videos mentioning his former coworkers and even their partners. Oh, frequently? I mean, you had no problem with numbers before.
Yeah, what's number?
Which has
What do you mean by frequently?
Well, you're setting a standard by regular, like when the number is problematic, that frequently would constitute providing a number, which has resulted in his fans harassing them. They said, right, along with 2 other former collaborators who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation, said Singor had used his platform to harass them and others. Okay, but you notice, real quick,
Fuck my leg.
Which has resulted in his fans harassing them, they said.
Yeah,
so
objection hearsay.
This is what they're saying has happened. She's now telling us that that's what they're saying, and she's not providing any evidence, and is skirting that responsibility by claiming, well, they just said that. And it's like, yeah, anybody can say anything.
Repeating.
It's your job as a journalist to investigate and report things.
Yeah, and also like if he has mentioned them on his channel and his fans already know them, how can they remain anonymous?
That's too late. Last month, Ray hosted another former collaborator of Singorn's, Brittany Truskowski, on her YouTube channel. 38, a former unpaid moderator of Singorn's YouTube channel, made new allegations against him, saying he sent her unsolicited nude pictures and a video of himself, including a video of him masturbating. Okay, so where's the link to this video?
So she's in one corner, she's saying that she's not going to give you names or or you know, what is
they want to remain anonymous.
But here they are on YouTube, by the way, and they did this interview with this person. You think people can't go and find it, or have they like shut down their channel and have disappeared due to the harassment? What are you doing? This is not keeping them anonymous. Like, what? This is not keeping someone anonymous. That's not how you keep someone anonymous. And them coming on YouTube and doing interviews, they have decided to give up their anonymity.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's a reason why when channels interview people who want to remain anonymous, they are interviewed in pitch black, pitch dark, and a voice changer is used for them. That's how you preserve someone's anonymity.
My truthful recounting of interactions with Andy Singorn.
Okay, so now okay. So maybe they're not like presenting themselves publicly on a camera or something like that.
I don't know, but so what?
Yeah.
I've got it muted, so like there's nothing to hear. Thank you for people, blah, 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 blah.
Wrongfully
fired, yeah. August 2021 to March 2022, harassment, October 2021 to February 2022. Okay, but here's the thing. So I went looking for this, but this is still not the video she's talking about.
No.
This video is from, when was this posted? November 27th.
Recently. So again, why didn't you link this? Why not link this or the video or the interview? Why not link it?
But he would say things like, I shouldn't ever tell," she said in her interview. "He's very pushy and persistent," she said. "I thought he was being very manipulative, but at the same time, I was afraid to go against him." Okay. Provided a screenshot to NBC News of a message she sent Singorn on November 8th, 2022, or sorry, 2021, that said, quote, "I think we should keep it platonic." Said that a few weeks later, around November 28th, 2021, sent her a video of him masturbating as he was saying her name. Okay, so where's all the messages between point A and point B that demonstrates your point?
Yeah. Can you present them here? Can you post them here? You can redact the name.
I
You don't have to
find
show the
it
name.
I find it suspicious, particularly when you've got, and this is what I mean by being skeptical or being critical about what you're reading. Whether you believe this person or not is irrelevant. The point
Yep.
is why are we only getting this snippet of information and this snippet of information and nothing about what happened between point A and point B? And why is NBC News covering it in this way?
Yeah. Also, yeah. I want to just jump back to something. So, if you remember, Kat said in this article that he made around 200 videos before the trial started,
Mm-hmm.
and I think so. Intrigue Feline is addressing that in one of their comments, and they said 200 videos between July 16, 2020, and April of 2022. 200 videos over a span of 2 years.
Yeah.
That's not bad. If you want to keep a topic, if you want to keep a movement rolling and in the mainstream media, you have to keep on talking about it. Look how much longer it took for everyone to start like looking at this whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing in a different light. It took them so many creators sitting down and questioning this thing over 6 years to finally like for people to go like, oh, okay, maybe not.
But these are also people that are making daily videos 2 times a day.
Yeah, that's their job.
In a response in a YouTube climate after the apocalypse, which requires you to make a lot of content.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
In a response to the new claims, Singer said in a video on his channel that Ray had shared revenge porn by displaying part of the video during her stream that she was breaking the law. He didn't deny the allegations, but suggested the video could be a deep fake, which refers to a computer-generated or otherwise edited video that are meant to look real. Ray said the size of Singor's platform can make it hard for people to speak out. Quote, he's a bigger content creator, Ray said. Not everyone is equipped to deal with the drama. Not everyone is equipped to deal with the trolls. It's a little intimidating to try and combat a bigger platform. Does that apply to us talking about Kat?
We're sitting here. We don't give a fuck. I'm talking.
Since Singer came forward, fans and collaborators have called her names like Homewrecker and Skank in videos and tweets viewed by NBC News, which we're not going to link to.
Screenshots? Yeah, of course, conveniently.
And how are you confirming that they're skanks, that they're fans of his? But besides that, I am not a fan personally of attacking the woman in like the other woman in most circumstances. And my reasoning for that is that that woman is not the one who made a commitment.
Yeah.
That woman,
was the guy.
I think it's bad form if you know the person is married to still.
Yeah.
You're an asshole for that reason, but that's a different reason. Yeah. The homewrecker is the person who broke the commitment, and that's the person who should be called out for doing that. But that still has nothing to do with success on YouTube or coverage, so I don't even know why the fuck this matters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and like backlash to metoo.
Singer's personal history is intimately tied to his content, said Dreyfus of Harvard. Wait, the Harvard person was talking about this guy's personal history? The one that we referenced up here? Hold on. Wait a second. What the fuck?
Here you go. That's their yeah, that's it. Hold on. How many?
there's a kind of weird inversion that's been happening where individuals seem more trustworthy than the system, said Emily Dreyfus, a
Why?
senior editor and fellow on the Technology Social Change Project at Harvard University. This is the same
What?
person that knows his personal history that much that's writing this. What?
And why is it that she calls her out? Like, she mentions a full name at the top, but here she's just saying Dreyfus.
Oh, because she already referenced them. Like, fine.
But how do they know his personal history so well that they can make that assumption or make that conclusion? Like, I don't get it.
I don't understand. Like, clearly that what this person was talking to up at the top of the article is not in reference to their research at Harvard. It's in reference to their knowledge of, unlike what it was presented, it's actually based on this person's personal knowledge of of Singorn's personal history, which I don't know why this person and what they know or how they know anything about what they were saying even before that. What the fuck?
Or how did they come across that person? How did they obtain that
There's
information?
also no quote here.
Yeah,
there's no quote to this.
Wow. Oh god, Cat, disappointed. And also, how did they come across that information about Andy's past or history? Was it Cat who fed them that? Just like we saw, like, what Dr. Spiegel was fed by Amber Heard's team? And
well, the answer is that I now have no idea who this person is, what their knowledge is, how much knowledge they do have, and it's the same problem with that with what's his face up here, the garbage can. What, something with a J? The fuck is this guy's name?
Emily Dreyfus at Harvard.
Jarbo.
Schornstein Center.
I mean, I don't care. That's missing the point. The point is that Jarbo, who we don't know anything about, don't know his ties to Singorn, don't have any info or context around who this person is and why they're speaking on it or why they're being quoted by NBC News. Then we go down to somebody who was brought up as an expert or as a professional in a specific field of study that worked on a specific area and a specific study. But now we're finding out later on in the article that we also now don't know what the context is, don't know this person's personal knowledge, what they have studied, what they haven't studied, or anything in an NBC News article.
Yeah, like, is this their personal opinion or is this their professional opinion? What is this?
Quote, these influencers who see themselves as outsiders and whose audiences see them as outsiders, often their outsider status is a direct reaction to something in the mainstream that they feel either threatened them personally or threatened their identity, she said. So is he making it is Andy making it personal with the Johnny Depp thing? Or is he an outsider? Or do you mean outside of the mainstream media?
Yeah, I think
outside of what? This quote is so bad because you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and also, like, so what? So what?
Dreyfus cited falling trust in institutions, concluding the police, the medical community, and mainstream media as the driving force pushing audience towards creators like Singorn that increasingly include liberal or left-leaning audiences.
It's very convenient how they leave out, like, what that reason might be for
the people
for falling trust.
Wait, are the people who are against the Me Too movement and critical of the Me Too movement now the left? When the fuck did that happen? Because I'm pretty sure woke and SJWs and, like, the Me Too movement were all supposed to be progressive left-leaning things in the first place.
Yeah.
So
and suddenly now it's outsiders. Okay, cool.
Kat, did you read this before you posted it?
She fed it into an AI. She just fed the topics into an AI, and this is what it regurgitated. So yeah, but it's like they're telling that this phenomena is happening, but they're not telling us why it's happening.
Or giving any actual data points.
Yeah,
I mean, like, this is so. Whether or not you like Kat, whether or not you like Andy, whether or not you believe one, whether or not believe the other, what the fuck ever. Whether or not you agree with Amber Heard or Johnny Depp, who gives a shit. This is a badly written article.
Very bad.
Like, this doesn't, whether you follow her opinions, whether you agree with her opinions, this video, or sorry, this article is horrible at best.
Yeah.
It's
And
got formatting problems, it's got spelling errors, it's got issues with like there's technical errors that you could debate about. It's got misquotes. The author cannot be trusted. It doesn't disclose information. It purposefully leaves out information.
yes, it does. Yeah.
Best, and it was poorly researched. This is a bad article. Period. End of sentence. Like
And before people start saying, "Oh, what do you know about journalism?" I've written technical papers, I've written research papers, and I know the flow of information in this article is horrible, and like there's no head and toe about it. There's no flow at all about the information in this article. Not at all.
my high
And
school major was in English and media, and then when I went to university,
there you
I
go.
went to university for a BA English with what was supposed to be in that line, but then I left that university and went to college, and when I went to college, I did a year of radio broadcast, which includes news media and journalism.
Oh, so yeah, she knows what she's talking about. She just knows what she's talking about.
I didn't graduate. I ain't got no fucking credentials. I dropped out of that too because it was trash.
That's fine, but apparently you know better on how to like what an ethical journalistic article looks like. You know more
I
than
mean,
Kat.
I can talk about who my family is, like in my personal life. Would that lend me some credibility, or does that not matter? Because my family could be anybody, and it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, quote, people are going to rely on these individuals more and more to give them information. And she said, quote, Johnny Depp is exactly the kind of icon where people can give him support without it feeling political. Sure, you can support, like, there's a difference between supporting a movement and a changing or an adapting of the way politics or the way the law handles particular things.
Yeah.
Or you can support like just that situation, right? Like you can differentiate those things really, really easily. But on top of that,
it's not black and white.
Don't pretend that the mainstream media doesn't utilize personalities.
Oh, they do.
Fox News, Bill O'Reilly, Tucker Carlson. These are all like by named shows. If you want something that's more MSNBC, or you want something that's not Fox News, you've got Anderson Cooper, you've got Rachel Maddow, Jake Tapper. You've got names that are associated with the person who delivers your news, and that has always been the case. And there are people who will trust that particular journalist and not the website or not the NBC or whichever one in particular. So the mainstream media does the same fucking thing. This is not...
You're no different.
Your local radio station has a disc jockey, and that disc jockey, that main person is like, hey, welcome to Dave FM. My name is Dave. Yep. I am the Dave of Dave FM. Blah, 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 blah. Like,
personality sells that broadcast. That's what it is.
And you're going to trust one over another in particular circumstances. Yep. And so, like, YouTube is not doing anything that the mainstream media doesn't already do. They're just doing it a little bit differently. And people are leaning more towards them because they trust them more for whatever reason. So instead of picking on YouTubers who are a lot smaller than the conglomerate that is NBC News, maybe you should be like, oh, well, why don't people trust us?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you misquote people. Maybe it's because you have blatantly bias and real big problems with not exposing or making clear that you have a conflict of interest in your reporting.
Yep.
You fucking idiot.
And it's like she's pretending that, I would just say this is just a Hail Mary to...
She's viewing herself as an outsider.
Yeah, that's what NBC News and Kat Tenberg, isn't how she asked that question, what is your opinion of the coverage by NBC News and Kat Tenberg? So she's... What's that, Kat?
Early last month, Singor met Depp backstage at one of Depp's concerts. Singor recorded the encounter for his channel, including his conversation with Depp, who said he, quote, learned a lot from Singor's coverage of him.
Okay.
Quote, it was a culmination of so many things in my life, Singorn said in his video about meeting Depp. Quote, I know so many of you were inspired by fighting for him, fighting against the media, end quote. The end of Singorn's video features a clip of Depp with his arms slung around Singorn's shoulder. Depp smiles and kisses in the direction of the camera and then plants a kiss on Singorn's cheek. What a weird ending to this article.
Yeah.
The end.
Oh, finally it ends and the nightmare is over. Holy shite.
Well, what? So if I go to the top here, and now chat, now that we've read this article, how many of he was canceled during the Me Too movement. Now he's using YouTube to attack celebrity accusers. Pushback against Me Too movement and the shifting economics of on YouTube have elevated Andy Singor and other online creators to new heights. How much of that article was about this? Give me a percentage. Chat, let me know what percentage of this article do you think was part of this. Here, I'll make a poll for you guys.
And it's also like she's somehow saying that she's so focused on the economics of it, the money. She's not focused on the trust of the people for some reason. She's mentioning that, but she's baiting and switching a lot between those two. You know what I mean? And instead of like you said, introspecting, like, oh, the shifting of economics is because the preference of the audience is shifting. Why is that? They're not. It's so superficial, this whole thing. Oh god.
It's so petty. Like it's so
petty.
Here's the thing.
It's vindictive.
There's
it's very vindictive, but
the only one she might be valid in bringing up when it comes to whatever accusations are against Singorn in this article are the new ones from November. Maybe. Because that was that November 2020 or November 2021?
What, sorry?
November 2020. Okay, yeah, it's from this November. Okay, so yeah. I would say bringing that up, right? Saying that, oh, if you were to say, hey, he was accused, he was fired, he sued for wrongful dismissal, address those accusations. Here's the accusations, here's where they were addressed. And then he moved on to do that. Like, if you had a small paragraph explaining, like, da-da-da-da-da-da, he made this
timeline.
Quick little timeline, blah, and then moved on and then said, during this time, there have been new accusations that have arose, da-da-da-da, they're covered here and here. And then also, here's what he's donated charity and those numbers. Here's the amount of money that he's made, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And here's why, here's his points against the Me Too movement, right? Because at no point in this article does it say in what way or what his criticisms of the Me Too movement are, which is ridiculous, and doesn't actually cover what happens, like why he's successful on YouTube with the way he's doing it. Because all they talked about was the apocalypse, and that was in 2017. It's 2022. So why is he successful in 2022?
Yeah, what's going on?
You can acknowledge that there was a change. You can acknowledge that there was a change in 2022 or 2017 in YouTube, but that doesn't tell me why he's successful now.
And it also, like, you can say, oh, it was because of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, but you said that when he started his channels that he was getting 10,000 views and stuff, as if, and at that time he was doing reviews and stuff, and he still does reviews and stuff, right? Movie reviews. He still does that, but he did expand to a wider range of topics. That's being receptive to the changes in what your audiences want, right?
There's something to be said, and I think that Kat, for whatever reason, doesn't agree with Amber Heard.
Oh yeah. Shall we?
People today are using social media platforms to report injustice and wrongdoings by government, corrupt businesses, and individuals. Social media platforms can and do give a voice, a face, and a story to those stories that need to be desperately told. It also allows for the marginalized to have a voice and put their leaders on notice. they are being watched and they're being held accountable. People today are using.
So, Kat, what do you say about that?
I don't
You
know
don't
why
like-
Kat thinks she's the small person in this situation.
She's not.
She's propping Andy up as if he's like this untouchable dude when that's never been the case. And she acknowledges that's not the case because she says he was canceled. If he was canceled, it means he wasn't untouchable and is not currently untouchable. On top of that, you're writing this for NBC News. If you wrote this by yourself and put it on your like little blog on your own or publish it anonymously somewhere, fine. But you didn't.
Yeah. You're using a big news platform that has an outreach across the globe to write this petty article. And for some reason, it's okay for you to for Amber Heard to use social media to call out people and call out abuses and shit, or hold organizations accountable. But when people like Andy Signor do, they criticize the Me Too movement and the leaders of the Me Too movement and try and hold them accountable, then it's bad.
Well, she blocked me before this video came out, knowing that I was going to take a critical look at her fucking article.
Damn, you burned through the article.
Whoops.
You just lighted a match and.
But here's the thing. There's also, if you notice, not a single fucking source at the bottom either. So it's not like you could go to the bottom and find anything.
No references, nothing.
NBC News maybe needs to be put on notice about Kat's complete disregard for the journalistic integrity and for the name of NBC News and why they should or should not be trusted. She's putting their reputation on the line by posting this here.
I don't know, but they have editors, don't they? They have editors who finalize this thing, who kind of read through it before it goes and gets published, isn't it? We know Washington Post did it, like they did a back and forth with Amber Heard about what to publish and what not to publish. So how come Kat Tenbarge's work is somehow escaping that scrutiny? I don't get it.
Yeah, no list of any editor on here, but she's loud and proud about this one.
So there's no like reference to who the editor was or who the chief and editor was, nothing like that.
No.
And I'm just like,
we do have an update here from Andy. So at NBC News posted Kat Tenbarge's false article about me 4 separate times yesterday. Oh, so does that count as 4 different articles and 4 different postings? Why are they tweeting so much about this person? Well, my request to Kat and what looks like her editor, that's who he thinks his editor is, to include my full statement and correct errors was ignored. Who runs NBC News? How is this allowed? And then we've got screenshots of them tweeting about it
continuously.
With this picture. This picture is bizarre. It's not like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, here's the thing. Andy Singhorn was fired from the company he was founded after he was accused of sexual misconduct. He's now raking in money on YouTube by attacking celebrity accusers like Amber Heard.
Lord.
Wow. That's an aggressive headline. In October 2017, Honest Trailer's creator Andy Singhorn was fired. Social media had just exploded over Harry Weinstein, and people began speaking up about Singhorn too. 5 years later, he is one of YouTube's most prolific and profitable Amber Heard haters.
Oh my fucking Lord.
Are they just going to ignore the wrongful dismissal part? Andy Singhorn was fired from the company he founded after they repeated it. Different time it was posted.
Yeah.
Repeated again, different time it was posted.
Wow. How this sounds like desperation for people to like, please accept what we are putting forward as a legit story. Please accept us back, and this is the shitty job you do.
It's the repeating a lie again over and over and over, right? Reinforces it. But you've got this is what I mean when I say, oh, but why don't people trust us? Why are they getting their news from other places? Oh gee. Ta-da. I wonder.
This is why the headlines. Oh my!
So how long is
the
it going to be? How
title.
long is it going to be? Remember when people were reaching out to Stanford about Michelle Dauber, and now that she's quiet and gone because there's been a lawsuit brought against her due to
Yep.
the mismanaging and the mishandling of a case where a student ended up committing suicide. Yeah, how long is it going to be where we end up with NBC standing up for Kat Tenbarge until there's a lawsuit?
Yeah, I think so. That's what they're waiting for, aren't they? They're waiting for a lawsuit to happen to let go of Kat Tenbarge. She is dangerous. We know she's dangerous. She doesn't do her due diligence. She doesn't even proofread her articles.
Right.
It's quite evident she doesn't, and she doesn't care. It comes across as someone who doesn't care. Why do you have a
She
tech and
cares
culture
about
reporter?
she cares about something. Her priorities are fucked.
Fucking wrong.
Oh my god, this man on the internet criticized me and this other famous person that I'm trying to suck the dick of. I must protect Amber Heard. Dives in the way.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, like
bizarre.
that's what I'm saying. It's somehow like the mainstream media has decided that if Amber Heard fails in some way, it's a failure on their part.
Or it's a
It
failure
reflects on them.
or it's a failure for women. Like women will be set
Yeah.
back if a lying woman is exposed as a liar,
Yeah.
lying who lies.
Or an incompetent woman is exposed, as we see here.
It's really lazy. If a movement has to pretend that whoever the movement is about is infallible, it's not a very smart movement.
And if a movement is dependent on specific celebrities, then maybe your movement is not,
Or
the priorities are not right.
Or the perfection of an entire group of humans. That's
Yeah.
absurd. It's absurd.
Humans are not perfect. Humans are
Oh my God.
have faults. We have clearly seen humans have faults.
There's an article, or sorry, there's somebody who did like a breakdown similar to what we did on Twitter, and I'm gonna recommend you guys read it. I don't think we're gonna have time to go through it because we're already well over our time, and this was really long. But there it is for you. It'll be linked in the description down below as well. And if you want to look at any of this stuff, this will also all be linked down below. There's open comment sections to let people know how you feel wherever you feel like doing so, and I'm not one to impose what you should or should not say or should not do. Don't harass people, yada yada yada.
But please, if you're going to write an article as a journalist, please reference.
Oh God.
Reference your sources.
This is the person who did the interview whose video we saw, which I'm not linking to. If you want references to what we looked at in this article, go ask Kat for them because she's the one who apparently did all the research.
We don't. I think so. She's the woman who accused him of.
Yeah, she is. I'm sorry to those who can't see the truth of this article about Andy. We can't because Kat didn't share any of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
They cannot look past their own bias because the hashtag NBC journalist Kat Tenbarge has a different view than they do in regards to Depp and Heard. Hey, everybody, name that fallacy.
Oh my fucking Lord. Poisoning the well?
Excuse me.
That's what it is. Oh, I'm going to exploit these victims here to make a point like, yes, I was right about this thing here. Are you fucking kidding me?
And here's the thing. We went through and we read this and we analyzed the hell out of it. We didn't just agree or disagree because it was Kat. We didn't just agree or disagrry because of Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. We didn't agree or disagrey because of Andy. I don't know shit about Andy. I remember hearing about that he was removed from Screen Junkies. Like, I remember hearing about it. I didn't really look into it at the time. I have watched very small portions of his channel when it came to talking about Amber Heard case. I also looked at his response to this because I thought it was only fair that we take a look a little bit at what he had to say about the matter. But like the arguments that we've made during this have absolutely nothing to do with liking or disliking anybody.
we haven't
Bad
personally attacked
formatting.
Kat.
Bad
Maybe we have called her a
formatting.
bitch.
I called her a bitch. Bad formatting is a discussion that has nothing to do
Yep.
with any of these things that they just brought up. Not citing your sources, not quoting people, misquoting them
Properly, yeah.
wrong, like incorrectly on purpose, and misrepresenting the facts of the matter, while also looking at what those facts actually were to demonstrate that what we were saying was not bullshit.
And expecting standards from others that you don't follow yourself. That's another thing.
Right. There's journalistic standards. Now you can have a discussion about whether or not YouTubers should or should not be following those journalistic standards. And
Yeah, that's a good conversation.
And in some cases maybe yes, and in some cases maybe no. But as a viewer, as you people watching, should have a set standard for yourselves. Like
Yep.
you should have a standard of what you believe and why you believe it. I go out of my way to show shit on screen. I go out of my way to make sure my stuff is linked down below.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Because, yeah, and I think so that's what has happened. People have set a standard for themselves, and the mainstream media during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial did not meet that standard. So they shifted to social media. Simple as that.
Right. And like it's up to you on YouTube, it's up to you guys more than it is up to like if you start being like, well, I'm not gonna watch this YouTuber because they don't cite their source, or I'm not gonna read this article because they don't cite their source, or I'm not gonna trust this journalist, etc., etc., etc. for those reasons.
Yeah. Set your standards, don't compromise on them. Like Kat here. And yeah, very disappointing. And yeah, NBC News should take note of this. This is going to end up bad one day. If this continues, this level of reporting, and if it keeps on devolving the way it is, it's going to cause some harm one day that you won't be able to take back.
Gabby Petito charity stream helps Tampa Bay domestic violence shelter care for victims during pandemic.
Yeah, she could have linked that.
That's the NBC News article about Andy's donations.
Oh. Wow. It's like one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, isn't it? I think so that's what's happening. There's one department at NBC News where everything goes to the editor, but they have somehow given leeway to these people like Kat because it's tech and culture.
I wouldn't even say it's that far. I would say you've got one person who is trying to be an influencer that is dressed up as a journalist who doesn't like a guy who was critical of her approach.
Ooh, yes.
Where's my hit piece, NBC? I want my hit piece. Hit me.
Hey, come at me. Come at me.
Give me.
Come at Chesh. Come at the goblin. Now, Chesh has put this very, very aptly. Like, that's so accurate. That's so accurate. Like, even her profile picture, man, on Twitter, like the filter she's used. Come on, man.
Well, look at her background. Little Miss posting a self-identifying meme, grasping for a sense of community in an increasingly alienating digital landscape where our social interactions there's no grammar. Where our social interactions and fellowship have been stripped to data sets and our attention commodified, desperate to be acknowledged, terrified of truly being seen. Are you exposing yourself with that one? That's a bit yikes there.
I see projection there, Kat. There's some projection going on there.
I see a little bit of Freudian accidentally putting way too much of my own psychology in a stupid banner.
It's like, and
I don't know what my banner is. It's my dog.
She's acting like as if MSNBC News does not commodify social interaction or attention. Puck sticking out from behind a tree like that.
Careful, Pokemon hide in tall bushes.
He's adorable. So, yeah, like, again, she's pretending as if she's not part of the crowd that commodifies
right. That's
the
you.
user's attention.
You're doing these things.
Yeah. So, yeah, do better, Kat. Seriously. You have a degree in journalism. We expect a certain standard from you, and we're not going to compromise on that just because you're having a fit. Puck agrees.
Puck agrees. All right, let's take a quick look and see what Andy had to say about it, because I think it's fair to wrap up on his last point here. I think that's reasonable. Do I agree with everything Andy says about everything? I don't know. I don't watch his shit.
Yeah.
Do I think he did or did not harass people? I don't fucking know. Not only did I not follow that case and have no fucking clue about what any of these accusations actually are or have any frame of reference, and Kat didn't give me one. And there's a reason why I specifically didn't go looking for them, because if this was the article you were writing, you should have been providing it. And you didn't.
So we are just going off of what you provided, Kat. Simple as that. We didn't go out of those boundaries and the framework that you provided, and it's you who can blame themselves for it.
So let's see what Andy has to say, and this was a long stream. Maybe I'll cut it into stuff later when my new computer finally shows up.
Hey!
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Blows my mind. You'd think NBC News would have more journalistic integrity to not just...
Oh, okay.
Now it decided...
Fucking fine, I guess, bro. What
Bro.
the hell?
Well, come on.
Here I was with my, like, all fancy, I was already set up and everything, and no, fuck you. I get
internet connection was like, hold my beer.
It wasn't an internet connection, it was YouTube, okay.
That literally reported on us donating to TV survivors, and they can't even, like, cross...
Oh, hold on, I forgot I had this sped up. Oops, that's faster.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Can't even, like, cross-check their own network. It's blows my mind.
Right?
I think NBC News would have more journalistic integrity to not just run a blatant one-sided hit piece without at least including my full comment. I've actually emailed Kat to try to get her editor's name so I could follow up to understand how this even got to print. I will keep you guys posted. In the meanwhile, please leave her and everybody else involved in this article alone. This was not an attempt to try to get you to rally up to say anything. I just wanted to give you my reaction so you had the full story here and not their biased one-sided story. And in fact, regardless of what Kat thinks, you guys are allowed to support your YouTube creators. In fact, if you'd like to, I have a Steph the Alternate video here. Go support her too, as well as Christopher. But if you go click the three little dots on any video on YouTube, guess what? You can do a super thanks. You can pick your level, how much you want to donate, who's going to go, oh my God, $500. You can donate as much as you want, and you can leave a comment here saying, hey, thanks. There it is. That's how it works. I can't type when people are looking at me. But show your support if you'd like to. And I appreciate Christopher. I appreciate you, Steph. You're also incredible. And if you want to support the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that bell for alerts.
And, you know, echo that, but also, yeah, you expect more from journalists. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Fekk Friday. Don't Fekk Friday. Don't Fekk Friday. Don't Fekk Friday.
It's going to be fun.